Bam, there we go. Hello. Hello, hello. So, I have Gamba in this stream, and it's not Genshin Gamba. Well, to be clear, I still am tempted by Zibai, but at this point, deciding between Zibai, Varka, and a potential Flynn's rerun next patch is going to depend on what they announced during the live stream. So I'm kind of waiting on deciding for that. But anyway, it's gonna be Weapon Banner Gamba. So how exciting for a game you can figure out which game if you want, but we'll get into it. Anyways, Gilberta Gamba. I already have Gilberta, but I wasn't able to get her weapon yet, so I don't actually need the Gamba on Gilberta, which is nice. Anyways, the power of getting lucky, I suppose. YouTube, there's no one chatting in YouTube yet, but let's put them here, bring them. Okay, now if anyone chats, oh hello, there we go. There should be that. But yeah, I wanted to have a short stream where I yapped about some stuff with Milliastra, because it's stuff I wanted to yap about. So the video was a sponsor video. I was gonna make a Milliastra video anyways at some point, but because of the fact that Hoyoverse, or sorry, the Genshin team reached out to me to do a sponsor video, I was like, okay, you know what? It's probably a better approach anyways to, like, instead of just yapping about Milliastra, let's just, with my, you know, unhinged, slightly formulate, or not like non-scripted, a little bit ranty stuff that wouldn't be that focused and not that productive for, like, making a point. Like, I think Milliastra requires a video essay of sorts, and that's not something I'm experienced in doing. So, anyways, I think the video is very good, and you might think, oh, this is Saluna, he's gonna be whinging about, like, the video performing badly again. I don't really care. Like, I expect this video will perform poorly. I hope it performs better, to be clear, because the goal of this video is to, like, encourage people to stop being, like, so stubborn in their mindset. And this wasn't like Hoyo's goal. This was my goal. And this would have been my goal regardless of what kind of Milliastra video I made, that was sponsored or not, which is to just encourage people to be like, yeah, no, this mode has potential to allow you to just have fun. And if it wasn't going to be a sponsored video, it probably would have focused for my channel a lot more on the potential of custom combat, and maybe I'll still make a video about that, but honestly, I don't think there's a reason to right now. Like, because the custom combat isn't real to a degree that even matters to talk about, and I'm just going to continue waiting to see if they continue developing it. If you watch my live streams at all, you know, you probably already know, for months I've talked about the potential for custom combat. Do you like Varesa's gameplay? Random comment, because I don't see you talk about her. I like her, but I don't enjoy her enough to play her super regularly. She's been useful for team options for Stygian, particularly at dire difficulty. I've used her a couple times. I believe I used her for my original dire clear in the current Stygian, but I think I got rid of her, sorry, in favor of doing this. But you can see I used her last patch. I probably could have done something else for dire other than Baressa on my account. Didn't use her there, didn't use her there. Okay, well, maybe she's been less useful than I thought. If I've only actually used her against the shield boss. Never mind. I don't know. I don't dislike her. I do like having her, but I don't know. She doesn't feel as good to play to me as other characters I like playing, so that's fine. Anyways, Pamber vid was a great vid, yeah. So I got her because I was pulling for Eonson, and I was happy to have her. That's ultimately where she lay. Eonson was the real reason to pull in that banner for me. Anyway, I should get my Twitch window up. I don't actually have my actual window, so I'm only reading chat through OBS. Where is my hold please. But yeah, anyways, I want to yap about some Milliastra stuff, because there's stuff like that would have been in like a yap style video that didn't fit the concept for the video. Like this wasn't even something I considered. Like, I could have considered trying to put this in the video, and like the Genshin team may not have wanted it because it would have been stuff that's like nuanced and potentially critical of Milliastra. Because I'm not all positive about it, obviously. Like, I feel the same things most people do in that, like, it has a lot of things that, like, give you a bad impression of it, right? I understand why people have a bad impression of it, particularly from version 6.0. I think if you go into Milliastra now with your first impression being what it is now, you probably come out much better than it did when you tried in 6.0. Duh, right? My frustration is that people, like, just let that first impression or don't refuse. They just, like, refuse to like embrace the idea that there could be something good in there. And I think particularly for the potential of custom combat moving forward, for like my audience who likes the combat of Genshin, I think neglecting the possibilities therein for the community itself to create the most fun possible Genshin content is a mistake for not just yourself but for everyone, or not for everyone but for yourself if you're a more whatever your perception of things is. And like, because we play video games for fun, right? And I feel like being too close-minded to the potential of Milliastra and user-generated content just hurts your own ability to enjoy the game and to potentially enjoy playing the characters that you already like, is my overall perspective. And that's why the goal of the video was just to be like, yeah, Milliastra can be fun. I suspect the video, hello cat, I suspect the video will perform terribly because, like, one of the reasons I sneakily included a poll in one of my posts from last week, like, the goal of that post was to get people to share their Milliastra levels because I wanted to find new Milliastra levels, and I appreciate the people who submitted. I'm probably gonna go give a welcome to one or two people that submitted some things that I really liked that aren't necessarily all gonna be aren't included in the video because it was a co-op focused thing. I ended up spending the raw recording of just going to different Milliastra things with Kiwi. There was a bunch of like levels I didn't actually show that we played. Was like 3 hours long though. we did stuff for like 3 hours, and I was like, oh boy, this was more than I thought. And I was originally intending to like have some single player stuff in the video. But anyways, it was a very fun video. Like, I can tell you that I enjoyed editing it. And if I enjoy editing a video and I struggle like, oh man, I gotta cut out this, that's, oh well, it's not ideal, but I don't want this video to be an hour long. Like, if I enjoy watching back something that I already experienced myself, and the process, not even just watching it back, but having to watch back multiple aspects of it and think about how it's formatting and being presented to a viewer and blah 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 blah. Like, I kind of experienced it 3 times over at this point, maybe 4 times over. Like, but I enjoyed it, even though I stayed up till like 10 a.m. yesterday to mostly finish the editing, and then also yesterday I had to finish other parts of it too. Like, a lot of work went into this video for a video that I was fairly confident wouldn't get many views, because anything you present from like like even this live stream probably is going to get less views because I still think Kiwi's planning on killing you or the rowing event. I mean, you might have missed at the end. She did say that was fun. I do think part of the point of like frustrating co-op games in general, where it's like weird to coordinate actions. Like, there's plenty of video games that have done that concept in different ways. Of you coordinate with a co-op player, coordinate movement with a co-op player, and it's frustrating. But it ends up becoming an enjoyable experience by the end. Usually, like, while you're frustrated in the moment in some ways, and like you struggle to figure out how to collaborate, you end up like naturally finding a flow for things, which did happen towards the end. And she did say it was fun. I don't think she thought it was a negative experience, but it was funny. and obviously in editing, I had to cut down that from being 46 minutes itself to, I don't know. It was like half the video. It was not my plan to originally have that be half the video. But it was too good not to include, right? So anyways, and I did play into it a little bit because I thought it was, in the moment I was like, okay, it is more fun to be the right, I mean, that's just what I naturally am. I'm a little bit adversarial, but also in the trying to collaborate with someone, I'm definitely inclined. If someone else is like trying to be like, no, my way is the way, I'll just be like, okay, yep. Like, do I think like some of there is definitely plenty of instances in there where Kiwi was complaining about something that I don't think was entirely my fault, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter, and it's against the goal of trying to work together to achieve a goal to be too confrontational, right? So, anyways, you get the point. It was a fun video. I liked it. I had a good time playing Milliastra stuff with Kiwi. I think Milliastra is best experience with a friend on a generic level. But I do want to talk about some like overall things and critique Milliastra a little bit and talk about things that like, you know, the Genshin team themselves can improve. And I've given them this feedback directly, by the way, and I hope they listen. I hope they're working on it. It seems like they're trying to improve Milliastra over time, so like I think it's worth having a conversation in good faith. But anyways, I kind of suspect the video will perform terribly because in my poll that I did, like I sneakily included in the poll I did a poll right with a community post to just try to be like, hey, if you have Milliastra levels, I'd like to try them out, and I'm probably still going to make a live stream at some point that goes through some of those videos, or sorry, some of those stages, because I didn't try every single one in the submission yet. There was like 30 of them, and but beside that, I did the poll as a sneaky way of checking engagement for how much my audience cared about Milliastra, and this is, you know, my audience, which is you are statistically more likely to have seen my live streams because you watch my videos, and therefore you are also more likely then to have encountered me already being someone that was trying to encourage people to be open-minded about Milliastra. And yet, despite that, despite my audience potentially being biased to being more open about Milliastra, 83% of people said, of like 2,500 votes, by the way, said you Milliastra. I think it was 83%. They said you Milliastra, and the reason I specifically put it as you Milliastra was, I mean, maybe I should have like had a third option being like, eh, right? But versus you Milliastra is the same thing in my mind. It wasn't a formal poll, wasn't scientific. It was a vibe check. It was a vibe check of if a lot of people say you Milliastra, clearly Kiwi's not allowed to run a kitchen ever again. I mean, Kiwi did a better. Kiwi caught on to some of the like mechanics quicker than I did. But she was a little bit Chef Gordon Ramsay, and that like I definitely panicked more than I needed to panic in this stupid overcooked thing. Because Kiwi was yelling at me, and I was like, why am I being yelled at? Anyways, thanks Gordon Ramsay. There was a community post. Yeah, I made a community post a little over a week ago being like, hey, send me your Milliastra levels, and then here's a poll of it was a poll just being like, yeah, I have an idea, or I have a Milliastra level that's cool, aka it was just meant to be like the answer you select if you have played any amount of Milliastra to the degree that you have tried something fun that you can share, right? That was the I have actually tried to give Milliastra a shot answer, and then the other answer was no, I don't care about Milliastra, poo-poo garbage, not considering it as something that exists, right? It was a secret little vibe check, not a formal study, secret vibe check. And the vibe check was that people are very not interested in Milliastra. Because I think they're too dismissive of it. That's my theory. You can consider me an asshole for saying that thing, right? I don't know. I don't think it's that asshole of a theory. I think it's just how it is based on how I've seen people talk about it. But I don't know. It has potential. And I get why, you know, my audience, being like probably more combat oriented, wouldn't care that much about Milliastra. But I feel like at this point, even the minor things we've seen, like Genshin PvP and the problems it has, to be clear, but also despite the problems it has, and thinking about how can we potentially improve this on this idea? How could Genshin help the creator of the level improve on this idea by implementing better systems therein and create fun experiences? Like, I think the fact that things like that are now possible is cool. I think it is really cool that something like that is even possible, regardless of how much you even like it, right? I think it's a very, very good proof of concept at this point. But anyways, so yeah, I would love if you watched the video. if you're super anti Milliastra, whatever. I mean, you do you with your life. You have finite time. I get it. I think it was a good video. I think I would like to think most people that liked my content in general would enjoy seeing something a little different from me and just having fun. I mean, that's my general goal in most of my content, and just share some knowledge that I have about Genshin, and then use that knowledge to show me doing something fun in the game. And that's all that fundamentally was as well. Instead, I just did it with someone else on top of that, and it was sponsored. But ultimately, because of the fact that like it's the kind of video I wouldn't have put the time into making it as I did at this point, because all information and all signs on a community level, all engagement factors I can meaningfully factor in point to this video probably doesn't perform well. I mean, like, theoretically I could like have a different title or thumbnail, whatever, to be clear, that like is more misleading to what the video is actually about. Like, by not including Milliastra Wonderland, for example, in the thumbnail title, I think you can get more views on a video that includes Milliastra content. But that would be misleading for what this video was, right? And I wasn't going to do that, obviously. I don't want to make misleading content in general. So, anyways, let me look at the chat quick before we head in some of my specific yap I want to have. And then we can do normal daily stuff, and then we'll do some weapon gamba. And then, yeah, that'll be the stream. It's going to be a short stream because I'm planning to do stuff with friends, most likely. I normally do that on Saturdays. That's why I normally don't stream on this day. Yeah. Anyways, next one will be Kiwi reading that outfit lore to you. Yeah. Okay, so here, let me get my chat windows up properly. Still didn't do that.
I don't sing for anyone in particular.
You pulled Sana? Nope.
Still, if someone stops to listen,
I am going to try to get Sana's engine for Yuzaha, though, for reasons I don't want to explain. You can go read through the reason I was accidentally convinced. I convinced myself in conjunction with someone else in my Discord server, mentioning the potential synergies that it has, and I plan to get Yuzaha M2 and min-maxing Yuzaha with Sana's engine, with M2 Yuzaha in particular, is kind of significant. But yeah, Sana herself, I don't know, is like the most skippable support to me so far in Zenless, and that's a good thing. Like, she has use cases, she has value that she'd have to my account, but she doesn't feel like she has enough value for me to increase the fun I am having in Zenless relative to my current plan of going for Yuzaha M2, right? And I'm trying to get her engine for Yuzaha because Yuzaha's engine is kind of dookie, and Sana's engine for Yuzaha has potential to increase the things I can do with Yuzaha, particularly after I get M1 and M2 Yuzaha, is my opinion. So, glad you made the video. I didn't know they made a bowling level. I didn't know either. It just showed up in the recommended list, and I was like, okay, give this a shot. And Kiwi saw it too as a recommended one, and I was like, yeah, let's detox with bowling. The bowling, I didn't even show that much of the actual bowling. I just showed the funniness of getting murdered. But like, it's actually like, I don't know. I don't know how good it actually is. I find it. I think I cut out comments of how like, well, this bowling game is a relatively accurate simulation, because like most bowling games I find to be like much easier than bowling in real life. I performed, like, if I went in bowling today in real life, I am shitty at bowling, okay? I probably, it's a possibility I would score the same in bowling in real life as I did in that. So to some degree, the lack of control I felt I had over the bowling ball is somewhat realistic. Is that accidental? Is that on purpose? I don't know. But I thought it was entertaining and definitely worth including the video. So, you know, a new subscriber honestly just got back to Genshin, watch your video on a Neff and Polder. Nice. Yeah, Neff is a great character. Thanks for watching. So, anyways. Especially with Roblox's downfall, many more would play it if it wasn't tied to Genshin and the huge files. Yeah, that's fair. That's certainly one of the problems. Actually, I yapped about in ZZZ chat as well in my Discord this morning about how to install the Zenless update. I have a 256 gigabyte iPhone. I don't actually regularly play mini games. I have like 30 gigabytes of photos and videos, like not insane. And then the rest is like just a little bit, and I have like maybe 10 to 20 gigabytes of music, which is typically fairly, I think it's about 10 gigabytes, but it's a fairly sizable amount of music for most people, to be clear, because it's like all like lossless quality, and most people just stream nowadays, so that much file size is like that much of your storage going to music is abnormal nowadays, but normal for me, and not that much relative to the file size of my phone. And anyways, I have Genshin installed, Zenless installed. I technically had Star Rail installed, even though I hadn't played it for months. Like I played it when the free Archer was out for a little bit, and I had to freaking free up storage to install the Zenless update. And I was like, okay, goodbye Star Rail. So I feel y'all with the storage problems. Frankly, I think the solution to storage problems is don't play these games on mobile, because mobile is cringe. I don't feel like having this rant. I had it on my Discord server. If you want to go see a big old rant, you can go in the ZZZ chat and read from like 3 hours. There's probably a lot of messages there, to be clear, but you can read from like 3 hours ago if you want to see my rant about technology, and it wasn't all negative. But the solution for mobile, like I feel like if you ever encounter storage issues, that should motivate you not to like save up for buying the new highest storage iPhone or fucking Samsung. It's the same shit. They both charge you way too much money for more storage, and you like the way that phones work, it's just not ideal. Like I think you should be motivated to save money rather than, you know, gamba or whatever. Save money to be able to buy a better device that like offers you more freedom for storage expansion. Like the most bonkers things about phones, and like people say, oh, phones used to have expandable storage. No, they didn't. No phone, basically no, there's very, very, very few phones that actually allowed you to even like put applications on an SD card. And if you did put like a game on an SD card, it would run like shit. So like that was never actually a real thing. Phones have never actually been able to solve the solution of like having more storage, but they could. Particularly nowadays, there's no fucking reason they couldn't allow you to like run Genshin, for example, from an external high-speed SSD or flash drive stick, whatever. Like there's higher speed memory, higher speed USB ports that can fully run like Genshin, whatever other fat ass file sizes games on mobile without a fucking problem. But they can't, because they fucking want you to spend $5,000 for their overpriced ass memory, and all the manufacturers fucking do this shit. So I guess we are having this rant. Anyways, point being, I feel you for the file size problem. I understand. I think the solution is don't fucking play it on mobile, because mobile is a platform that has to do with the hardware companies making phones being cringe. And if you play on a computer or like a Steam Deck, which is a computer, and Genshin should be coming to Steam soon, most likely, by the way, so you won't have to do like annoying workarounds to get Genshin to work on Steam Deck. It's worked on Steam Deck for a while, but because it wasn't on Steam, it made it awkward to get running like easily. It'll probably be really easy to use in Steam Deck soon, probably. And guess what, Steam Deck? You can just plug in a goddamn flash drive. You could plug in well, you probably run it on like a solid state drive, not a flash drive, but you can plug in a freaking external SSD, and bam. You can do that on multiple computers. You could plug it. You could have Genshin installed an SSD on the flash drive, which is way cheaper. You get 10 times the storage on a freaking like terabyte external flash drive that can have 20 fucking games installed. Plug it into your Steam Deck, and then go plug it into your PC and be playing on them both immediately, interchangeably, with one storage device. And there's no freaking reason phones couldn't do that, and it pisses me off. I hate phones. Anyways, I used to love mobile phones. I was I was super engaged with like year to year of like innovations in the mobile industry. And there's cool work that's being done on like battery innovation and whatever, but like most things that mobile phone makers are doing now are just fucking cringe. Anyways, what phone do you have? It's just a fucking iPhone 15. Because it's a phone that works, and I don't love Apple for a lot of reasons, but the one thing I will give them is that their phones last a while, and that's the primary thing I give a shit about for phones now. I want them to last a while. I don't want to buy a phone every goddamn year. I don't want to buy a phone every 2 years. I don't want to buy a phone every 3 years if I can avoid it. 4 years is fine, I think, but anyways. Sure, you can buy a gaming phone. I just don't think you should. I don't know. Sorry, I'm anti-mobile gamer. I think playing mobile games, if you consider Genshin a mobile game, on other platforms is a better experience and a valuable spending of your money. rather than be like, I want to buy a mobile phone. I want to buy extra storage for my playing Genshin on my phone. No. Just buy a better device that can play games better. That's made for games better than a phone. Phones will never play games better. I don't think it'll ever happen. Anyways. Goods you buy artifacts? Night Sky. Basically only Night Sky. If you're trying to be clear, if you're trying to, I'm probably not gonna have the Zabai video out this weekend. If you're trying to play her without Hydro, you could use 4-piece Husk. That's hyper niche. There might be scenarios where it makes sense, but you should just use the new artifacts. Use the Nodcry set. You're farming it anyways. Zabai C1 is very strong. Needs Sissia in my account. She has a snake. I think Sissia's design is an affront to existence. I'm sorry. She is one of those Zenless characters. So many Zenless characters are you love it or hate it, I feel like. She has a design where like she's almost like A tier, S tier design, but then drops straight to like C, D, F tier. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. I'll let it be influenced by if I like her personality or whatever. I don't know. Or other characterization, or her kit, whatever. But like, her whole midsection skirt area is fucking horrible. It's bad. I don't know. And like, she's designed to make your eyes, well, maybe it's just my brain, I guess, but it feels like she's designed in a way to draw your eyes to that area of her model too. And it makes her go from like a design I think I would like, and I'm biased towards liking the snakes. I like me a snake-oriented character, but I think she has an ass design. Fix that midsection, the skirt and the midriff and whatever. Anyways, new. Wait, no, oh no, sorry. YouTube chat is broken. I see. Whoops. Why do people compare gacha game revenues when it only includes mobile then? Because they're dumb. Anyways, you shouldn't compare gacha game revenues in the first place because they're different fucking games and they have different operational costs and different audiences and etc, whatever. Love her color palette. Change the top. I mean, okay, I'm not saying the top is perfect, but I do like her color palette. I like some things about design. Anyways, to finish the Milliastra yap, I already yapped some of the things. Some things I want to point on. One, Milliastra's UI is fucking awful. Like the first 20, maybe I'll upload it as like an unlisted or members video. It'll probably be unlisted and posted in my members only or subscriber only Discord server, I guess, because I don't like doing members only videos on YouTube because they show up in the feed of non-members, and I don't want members only videos to show up in the feed of non-members on YouTube. So it's probably just gonna be an unlisted video that I'll share through Discord, which you can access if you're a YouTube member or if you're a Twitch subscriber. But I think I might upload the unlisted like 3-hour thing that me and Kiwi did for that video, if anyone's interested in it potentially. But the first like 30 minutes was a little bit of like ADHD, us distracting, Kiwi distracting me, while I'm also trying to be like go through my head, okay, what is my plan for recording? And then also, you don't want to know a distraction that happened? Milliastra's UI. Like, I had to remember, like, I was in a lobby, for example. One of the stupid things. Here, let's go into Milliastra quick. This is like shit that needs to be fixed. I cannot believe they actually have problems like these. So if we go, wait, let's just do, so one dumb thing. If you just want to go into a Milliastra, by the way, to like go into a lobby, I think it's actually faster to go and like click on here and then go to lobby here. Even though you can go to your escape menu, go scroll down to lobby, but then it opens a menu where you have to do public lobby or private lobby. And like, that's good that there's a function to create a private lobby, but if you just want to go to a public lobby at all, it is faster to select a level than it is to go through the escape menu to go into a lobby. It's so dumb. That's dumb at a baseline. But what's worse so is, actually, sorry, wait, what, I think there is a way, I don't know. Anyway, I got confused, but I can't actually remember. I thought it was when is there an instance where I could have sworn there was an instance where when you are in a certain kind of lobby, you can press C and it opens up your character customization menu. Lamau bro's just here to be contrarian and argumentative. Sorry, I don't know what someone's yapping about in chat. But like, so I could have sworn there was some lobby where I could press C, and what it would open is not this menu, but it would open the character customization menu. And like I was trying to, like, for the start of the video, I was trying to go and put on the stupid horse outfit because it's funny, right? Obviously I wanted to be the horse for the video. And yeah, so anyways, so I tried pressing C and I was like, oh wait, I'm in a lobby, and it was bringing up this menu rather than going to the character menu. And I could have sworn that C opened the customization menu because when I've been doing stuff with like the damage dummy before, I press C and it opens up the characterization menu rather than the character menu like I'm used to in Overworld. And being that you can switch characters in this, the fact that there's like different buttons for switching characters in Milliastra versus switching things in, it's just, ugh. It's like so overly confusing and convoluted, and like it's a whole ass new separate UI to get used to, and it's not in a good way. Like it should share more similarities with Genshin at a baseline to be easier to get into. Yeah, skin. And blah 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 blah. The UI is bad, and that's before we get into any of the problems with like the limited options that developers of stages themselves have for making good UIs in their own games. Like like the bowling level, in case you haven't seen that, I am so freaking impressed with how they managed to get this UI to work. But oh frick, I did matching. Whatever, I guess, sure, people can join me for bowling. But like they managed to like input a bowling UI, and that's impressive. All right, sure, let's go bowling with Briar MM. So anyways, oh yeah, I reached 4-star pity, by the way, on the standard banner in this, which is something. 4 stars, 5 stars for the standard banner in the gacha of this, by the way. We obviously do standard mode. I'm on lane 1, okay. Anyways, the fact that they managed to like figure out this UI in the top left and like do this UI for like spin and whatever is impressive to me. But oh my god, I call bullshit. That should have been a strike. Anyways, oh, can I stop? So, anyways, by the way, can y'all in the YouTube chat, you can just stop with the arguing about Genshin being pay to win or whatever. I don't know what the original art. Oh, I forgot. Oops. My bad. I forgot so like you want to know what is Genshin pay to win or not? It depends on you, quite frankly. Yeah, you can clear Genshin's hardest content being free to play technically. You can also potentially feel like it's impossible for you to clear being free to play, because guess what? Different people are different and have different prioritizations for what they do in the fucking video game, and like how much time you have, etc, etc. You're different people. Chill out. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyways, the fact that you can spend money doesn't mean you have to spend money though. And so if you're overly strongly arguing on either side, I think either argument is wrong, because you're not properly taking into account contextual factors with different people's life situations and personal preferences. So stop arguing about it. It doesn't matter. It's not a competitive game, also. Anyways. I'm sorry the horse is so unserious. Wow, the freaking 7 split. A 6 split? Oh my god. Alright, I guess my goal is to get 6, 6, 6, 6. Anyways. What was I saying? Milliastra's UI needs some work. They need a lot of work for like giving developers better tools in general. Like, I don't really feel like going into specifics. But I've talked to like Cosmos, the developer, the damage dummy, and some other people, and like the implementation of like documentation available, the number of assets available currently, like the number of enemies available for creating custom combat, like it's all very limited in a way that it doesn't need to be, it feels like. And to be clear, these limitations can bring up some you only got 5 seconds, bro. I don't know if he's gonna get a score. Does it still give him the score? Hopefully. He did. Okay. Do they know how bowling works, by the way? Okay, they did do a second shot. I couldn't remember if they did 2 shots last time or not. So anyways, decided to pull for aesthetics. I don't care for much for staging. Yeah. And yeah, and if that's your approach, then, you know, Genshin might feel more pay to win, obviously. If you're not trying to, like, really? If you're not trying to, like, be analytical with, like, planning your resources and whatever, and just pull for the characters you want, well, that makes it harder to just succeed at the end game content without feeling like you would need to pay money to acquire more things, right? There's valid reasons you would feel either way. Anyways, Milliastra, custom combat. I should try to put like spin. Oh, frick, I need to like move over here. Okay, strat is like go here and like a shit ton of spin and like hook. Oh, what? Why did it? Okay, I definitely was angling this way trying to. Okay, my bad. I pulled based on the saloon is saying if the character is flexible or not. Yeah, there you go. Yes, that is my vibe. Characters I like that I feel are valuable, the characters that feel like they have a lot of team context. Anyways, oh, this person probably doesn't know about dying. Here, I'll try to die to their bowling ball. They'll probably have a good laugh from it. Does the saloon have Candace bias? I mean, sure, but I hate this game. Oh my god. It's accurate to bowling in real life, TBH. Oh, I need to, oops. Bam, don't think about it. Bowling is meant to be an activity you just do shit with. It's just a thing you do with people. Anyways, and it's a perfectly good thing for that. I think it's a shitty sport though, by the way. Like I know there's nuance to like don't get me wrong, it takes skill. But I'm very good at bowling and real life. The way they said this sentence says like that I'm very good at bowling and I'm very good at real life. Imagine being good at real life, guys. Unrelatable. Abyss collab. Ah, rip. I've been murdered. Anyways, what was I saying? So, I don't know. I don't know the true limitations and extent of what is possible. Oh, rip. In the UI of Milliastra and other things. But from frustrations I've heard from many people trying to make levels, not myself, they can do a lot to improve on things. And I hope they do. We'll see if they do, right? I am definitely not entirely positive. Other dumb things, by the way, this is a very specific thing I can point to, actually more concrete. So, you know, like one thing they wanted me to mention was the new currency that, like the new Robux equivalent currency, which creators of Milliastra stages can implement like prismatic boxes or colorful boxes. So I forgot what they're called. They can implement a gameplay mechanic to give currency to the creator of the level in exchange for some gameplay benefit thing, right? Robux, same shit. And I think that's cool. It's not any different from like if you give me Twitch bits, right? Throw pennies at my face in exchange as a thank you for whatever. You could throw pennies at a Milliastra creator's face for just being as a thank you for creating something cool and that you like. And you can get a little bit of a minor reward out of it. In Twitch, the reward is attention. I got a spare, holy shit. The reward is a minor bit of attention. And in Milliastra it'd be a minor gameplay mechanic. The dumbest shit thing about the currency though, because I told the creator of the damage dummy, Cosmos, that they should implement that in the test dummy. Just like implement a thing I can talk to that like allows me to give, because every Genshin player got 150 of this currency for free. So I was like, yeah, I'd like to like throw some of these at you because I think you deserve it for the work you put in to make the damage dummy. And you want to know what Cosmos told me, the creator of the damage dummy? He's like, actually, I don't know their gender, but they're like, oh, god damn it. I just lost the entire value. But so in case you don't know, a spare adds after you get a spare, the next thing you do adds to the point total of what you got for the spare. So if I had gotten a 7 there, I would have had 17 points on the previous shot. I just... Okay. So, yeah, the 150 is free for limited time. Did I just... Wait. What the fuck? I literally wasn't even looking at it. I went and looked at chat. Okay. Alright then. So... Anyways, Cosmos has put in good work. They told me they literally classic mode, so that is like bringing your characters. If your characters can be brought into it, into a Milliastra stage, classic mode for some arbitrary ass reason does not support that mechanic, where a creator of a Milliastra stage can like allow, you know, something that lets you give Robux equivalent, whatever they're called, prismatic shards, I think. Which everyone got 150 for free. So I'm holding it until I can give them, on principle, I'm holding it until I can give them to Cosmos. Now I'm stubborn. I'm not going to use them. Like, yeah, right now you can only actually pay or give that currency to beyond levels, the non-custom combat or the not it doesn't have to be custom combat, just the levels that don't allow you to bring your own character in. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Yeah, like, and Cosmos put a lot of effort making that, and they put in, like, the environment knives, they put effort into keeping up to date. Cosmos has put effort into working with people like me, being very open to me DMing them and asking them questions about specific things. Like, I've taken up Cosmos's time, and I can't give them anything in exchange for it in-game, even though there's a function for it. Why? That's so dumb. And this is something I, you know, if it wasn't a sponsored video, I probably would have had in the video. Oh! I'm doing so much better here than I was with Kiwi. What the heck? Let's see if I can get the spare. Nope, that's gutter balling. Rip. Okay. Crystals do anything for the player, just creators. The 150 they give for free is just for creators. But you get that, other than the ones we got for free, you get the currency by converting from the paid currency, like the Chronal Nexus, I think it's called. So the Chronal Nexus can be converted into the currency that you can give to creators of Milliastra stages, or it can be converted to gamble currency to buy skins, right? Have you ever bowled IRL? Yeah, I have. Not for a while, but I don't know when the last time I did was. But if whatever score I'm gonna get here, let's see if I can get a spare on the final one. Frick. Oh, maybe not frick. Okay, there's a chance. There's a dream. Here. Fuck. Damn it. Okay, never mind. Getting like, if I get over 100 in a game of bowling, I'd be like, yeah, I did well. Oh, Komemos and Cosmos. Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if that was the same person. So anyways, like, I don't think that this bowling is necessarily the best bowling video game I've played. That award would go to Wii Bowling still. Wii Bowling is something special. As far as, like, Wii Bowling is not like real bowling, but it manages to be a good game. This amusingly feels more like real bowling and the inconsistency of my ability to score well. And the fact that if I step on the bowling line, I'm scared for my life. Those are consistencies with real life, so I'll give them that. But I was just going in here to point out, like, it's cool that they managed to make it, right? And I think it's cool that fun random experiences you can do with people exist in Milliastra. And that the UI was possible, but also I imagine it took some maybe overly high amount of effort to get that UI to work properly. Or maybe it didn't. But it seems like there's not very good tools for developers on many levels. Not just UI, but documentation, assets, blah 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 blah. And yeah, so that's my overall thoughts. I don't know, Milliastra still has a lot to improve, but they have improved things over time, and but a lot of what people have been complaining about though has been not very constructive to improving Milliastra, by the way, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about things that, quite frankly, seem to be the fault of this just like shitty levels. Like a lot of people base their first impressions of their entirety of impressions of Milliastra based on the fact that they went into Milliastra and played some really shitty thing that was in the first version of Milliastra. Like when it first launched, they played the first lowest common denominator content that was available. User-generated content, by the way. And they're like, garbage. It's like I'm sorry, like you're basing your impression off of someone that just put the least amount of effort into throwing something up there quick. Like, come on. So, anyways, it can have fun experiences. To be clear, if what you get value out of in Genshin is just mostly playing combat like I do, you don't have to waste your time doing things you don't want to do. But I think Milliastra also has potential for combat. I think most Genshin players could find something fun with Milliastra, right? And that's why I was fine doing a sponsor video, where the sponsor video was just like, yeah, Milliastra can be fun, because I think it can be. And yeah. And even if if it wasn't a sponsor video, even if I would have been more critical in a non-sponsor video, the message would have been still the same, which is that yeah, Milliastra can be fun. Anyways, Milliastra Ping Pong's UI and effects work? No, I have not. Ping Pong. Oh, God damn it. Oh wait, that's this. Yeah. Milliastra UI. To be clear, some of that's not being used in Milliastra, but I played enough Milliastra at this point, and I keep on making the same mistakes in the UI, and I think that's because the UI is not very good. Anyways, Milliastra Ping Pong. All right. So, let's invite. Can I just start on my own? Is it gonna have a problem if there's no one else here? Fuck, I get Ember. My condolences. Ember seems to be an interesting character. I don't know. She gives Dia vibes on her kit level. I don't know if I like her elsewise. I don't love her design, but anyways. Okay, initially here, this seems to be the typical UI thing. Get the ball. Why is it so silent? Oh, weird. Okay. Get the ball. Weird. Okay, I was aiming there. I get it. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. As far as that goes, I'm not sure how they implemented that. Talk to the referee. But like the UI here, as far as like this stuff, is like typical Milliastra UI, where it's like a thing pinned to an object, and that's kind of like weird that that's the only thing people can do. So, anyways, no, this is standard UI. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What are you disagreeing with me? The implementation of the ball is kind of interesting. I don't know exactly how they did that, but anyways. Oh yeah, the gacha. Yeah, I don't know why so many people give a shit about the cosmetics. Like, if the gacha is upsetting to you, just don't fucking engage with the cosmetics. I don't know. I just don't care. Like, I don't feel a need to have the cosmetics to have fun with the levels. And I don't know. That's just one of those things I don't get. I don't get why people care that much. People want to use their OC, yeah. Like they can do a better job. Don't get me wrong. I get that they can do a better job with like the stuff from Standard Banner being more appealing or whatever. Like I would like to get this outfit, for example. I like that. I think the one I got this, which is not bad. I like the hat. It's not terrible, but also the boots are nice here. Oh, and gloves. Whee. And some split hair. I can look like Fischl. Perfect. Anyways, so the UI changes as you get higher combos in PvP. Oh, okay. I'll check it out later, probably. I don't want to get too lost doing it. Particularly considering you're saying I would have to get better at I'd have to do combos to see the UI. Either way, like thank you for the example though of a level that has done interesting implementation of UI. Not attached to an entity. Okay. But it seems to be hard for the point stands that it seems to be hard for people trying to make stuff that is good, and like Hoyover's Genshin team could do a better job at facilitating creation of things, right? Some of the limitations therein, I think, do force people to be more creative to find solutions to problems, to be clear. Like I think there is some natural human creativity that can happen with limited systems, but I do think certain things are not limited in a good way. So it was marketed as a dress up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I cannot believe like they started really negatively. Like I absolutely get why people have a negative impression on like an external perspective. Like the fact that in the first live stream, like for the 6.0 live stream, if I recall, they literally spent a good chunk of the live stream talking about Milliastra, and they started with talking about the gacha and the fucking outfits before talking about anything on a fucking gameplay level that was possible. And they barely touched at all in the live stream in the first place what was possible on a gameplay level. They barely touched on it in the original announcement. They barely touched on it. And then but they spent a lot of time being like, ooh, outfits. So I get it. That annoyed me, and I was like, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot, guys, if you're trying to advertise this as just a gambling ass system rather than like something that you play for the gameplay and then happen to have the option of cosmetics being there, right? Like they should have spent 30 minutes in that stream being like, look, here's all these things and look all this work we've done to like try to make it so that you can make something cool and have fun in Genshin in Milliastra Wonderland. Instead, no, it's gamble. Right? Like, awful. Absolutely agree. So, anyways. But I think they understand that was stupid and a mistake, and I think part of the reason they're trying to sponsor videos like mine is because they're trying to like overcome the fact that they kind of fucked up in people's initial impressions. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there'll be much recovering for it. Like, I'm gonna probably tell them like if my video doesn't perform well, maybe it will, right? But I suspect it won't. I haven't looked at the metrics yet. Should I look at the live? Let me go open my phone. It's probably gonna be terrible. I'm gonna guess it is my worst performing video and then my last 10 videos. And I don't think there's shit I can do about that. Yup, I was. Oh. Yeah. I'm not surprised. This might be my worst performing video, period. Well, other than like really, really old videos before I even started making Genshin content. I can pay bots to watch it. Oh, yay. Guys, it's been out for 2.5 hours and it has 700 views. I think it's a very good video. I think it's a very good video, but people have a really hardcore negative bias against Milliastra. Not you guys necessarily. I think you guys are watching my live stream. You're more likely to watch it regardless, right? Which, thank you. I do encourage, after I'm done with the stream, I'd love if you go watch it. I think you'll enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it for some reason, let me know. Well, you know. But, like, I get it. Like, as far as the money, actually, you know what? Let me go turn off ads for this video. I didn't think about that aspect. There's no reason for me to have ads on this video. So if you get ads, then it's out of my control ultimately. I'm gonna remove ads from it. It's gonna be an ad-free experience, hopefully, other than what YouTube forces upon you. But I'm gonna disable monetization on it. No monetization. I already made my money from this being a sponsored video. I didn't even think about that. Any money I make from ads on that video would be tiny pittance of whatever, so it just doesn't matter. I'd rather you just watch that. Get your bag. I'm like, dude, I'm not kidding. With this initial starting performance, this is, if this gets 5,000 views, I'd get like $10 to $20, bruh. Trust me, I charged a not insignificant amount of money to make this video because I knew that it was less likely to make money, and for what they wanted me to make, and if I wanted it to be a good video, that had a better chance of succeeding, which I think it is a good video. I knew that I had to put more work into it, and so I charged them for the amount of work that would be necessary. Okay? I made money from this video. I already did make money from it. It's fine. I don't need the goddamn $10 in ad revenue, yo. So, anyways, I should have just turned it off in the first place. I just left it on because I leave it on. I leave ads on by default, right? So, anyways, I don't know. Maybe this will be the last time I have a Genshin, a video sponsored by the Genshin team because it performs so terribly. But the Genshin team themselves said they liked the video a lot. So hopefully it isn't the last sponsorship I have from them. I'm going to talk to them and be like, yeah, I kind of figured this would perform terribly. And I'm going to be like, the problem is that Milliastra has such an... I'm going to talk about... Because I didn't tell them that I did my secret little poll to try to measure the engagement of my community, of how much they care about Milliastra, but the fact that like 85% of my community said Milliastra EU to a community poll, and those were people that were more likely to be like you get fed community polls if you're more likely usually to be someone who engages with my content anyways. So like this means they're not like as engaged as like I think you guys are live stream watchers, but like they're an in between the people that are like, you know, live stream watchers and, you know, whatever. They probably don't watch all my content, but watch a decent number of it, and then YouTube feeds them a community post every now and then when I make them. And if 85% of those people say EU Milliastra, that's why the video is going to perform like shit. But anyways, I think it's a good video. I think it's worth watching. I think you'll enjoy it. I enjoyed making it. If you don't want to, that's all good. Don't worry about it. I got my money from it. The only aspect of if it performs terribly is it might mean I don't have the ability to partner with the Genshin team in the future if they feel like it was, like if the Genshin team feels like it was my fault that the video performed terribly, then they might not partner with me in the future, and that's like losing potential future money. But from this itself, I didn't lose money. I will make more money from this video than I will probably make on other videos that I posted last month, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. Hoyo banned so many EXPs. Did they really? You fucking idiots. Look, Hoyoverse. Okay, hey. You know this stream is not sponsored by Hoyoverse when I say that. Okay, here, I'll say it as politely as a Genshin team if you happen to be watching this. This is as polite as I can fucking say it. You're fucking idiotic. The reason those are necessary for people is because of your shitty XP system. They wouldn't feel like that was necessary if you didn't have a shitty XP system. You caused the problem for yourself, and you're trying to fix it in the dumbest way possible. Stupid. That's as polite as I can say it. Anyways. Maybe I will watch it. Well, thank you if you do. So, anyways, I also couldn't find them. Like, by the way, one of the recommended levels they wanted me to like if you saw in the sponsored read, like the more scripted section, like you can tell when it was like the whole video was sponsored, to be clear. That's why I didn't have like hashtag ad in just the read section, because technically the whole video was sponsored. Like they did review the whole video, and they specifically wanted me to make the whole video about Milliastra. So the whole video was sponsored, but the only thing they specifically required me to say was the stuff in like the normal ad read section. Like the stuff you can very clearly tell I'm like doing like a script read kind of thing. And then the rest was just like, but like if I had tried to be like critical of Milliastra, they probably would have said, no, we don't want that in the video kind of thing, right? That's what I mean by like it's sponsored, but they let me say what I wanted to say. So it's in that awkward middle ground. Like they didn't control really what I could say, but at the same time, they did specifically want me to make a Milliastra video. And I would have made a Milliastra video regardless of it being sponsored, but it would have been a little bit different if it wasn't sponsored, right? So watch what? My Milliastra video is Oreo. The video I literally released today that is performing, it's probably going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if it's my worst performing video ever, and that's fine. I kind of predicted that would be the case. It's part of why I charged them the money I did and was fine putting the work I did into it because I'm making my money from it anyways. This is why I don't do like dedicated sponsor videos in general, by the way, because like if it doesn't fit into if it isn't a video that your audience would normally want to watch in the first place, it's not a video that's going to perform well. So I just feel weird about like this is what I would have felt like if Arknights didn't reach out to me, but if Arknights had reached out to me like they did to every other gacha creator, be like, hey, do a sponsor video about Arknights, I could have said yes, and I maybe would have said yes depending on how big the bag was. But if the bag was only like $200, I'd be like, nah, bruh, fuck off. Because like I'm not gonna put in that amount of work for making a video that is not gonna perform very well and isn't able to be completely like, because it's sponsored by the developer of the game, isn't able to be completely genuine about my feelings about the game, and therefore it's not possible for it to not be somewhat misleading in some way, right? Like by omitting my more critical thoughts about Milliastra from my Milliastra video, that is a little bit misleading to what my true feelings are, kind of thing. But my overall conclusion is still the same, again, that I think people should give Milliastra a shot. I don't think Hoyoverse is going to be willing to put in resources into making Milliastra better if people don't also give it a shot, right? So, anyways, every other gacha YouTuber has at least one Endfield vid, yeah. So, anyways, Endfield did not reach out to me. My point is that if they had reached out to make a dedicated video and, like, the amount of money they offered wasn't big enough to be worth, like, basically entirely, like, paying for a significant, like paying, like, you know, okay, if I put in 40 hours, I wouldn't be paid, more than a normal, like a living, more than just a not minimum wage per hour put in. And like I'm pretty sure the Milliastra video had more than 40 hours of work put in conjunction with planning, communication planning, thumbnail editing, recording time, and it also took time from Kiwi. That, you know, she got nothing from that other than like, hey, shout out to Kiwi, because like, yeah, genuinely thank you. I think the video would have been much fucking worse and much more boring if Kiwi was not part of that video, right? So thank you very much again to Kiwi spending her time messing around and having fun. What is Kiwi? Kiwi is the person I was recording that with. Kiwi is a fruit. Yes, she is named after her creator name, whatever the VTuber name is, named after a fruit. Correct. She's a crazy fun kid. I don't think she's a kid. Oh, look, I didn't ask how old Kiwi was. I am quite confident Kiwi is an adult. So saying Kiwi is a kid is a please don't. Anyways, I think Kiwi has, I don't know, like whatever. You're all kids to me. Okay, sure. Alright, anyways, whatever. What am I saying? Milliastra has potential. Thanks to Kiwi, whatever. Thanks to the Genshin team for sponsoring. But to the Genshin team, you got a lot of work to do, yo. I will keep on trying to encourage people to give it a shot, as long as you guys continue trying to make it better. But I will become a more outward Milliastra hater if you don't put in effort to make it better. And, like, I will become a Milliastra hater, a true popper hater, just like everyone seems to be right now, if they do like nothing to make custom combat real. Because right now custom combat is like theoretically possible, but it's so hyper limited and like it's not real at all. Like I've said before, I'll maintain this. I will C6 Nicole if custom combat becomes possible in Milliastra Wonderland. You might say, oh, it's already possible. You should be committing to that. In my opinion, it fucking ain't, because you can't do shit in it really. Like there's no enemies. Like the bare minimum, in my opinion, is I should be able to replicate like Abyss. Right? I should be able to go remake Abyss in Milliastra Wonderland. You can't do that right now for various number of reasons. But the biggest one is that there's no freaking enemy selection. There's no enemy. There's no enemies. And then the enemy, oh, and not only is there no enemies, the few enemies there are have like custom behavior to them that is not exactly the same as they behave at a baseline in the game. And while there are a lot of things we can tweak about them, which is good, there are a lot of things we can't tweak about them that we should be able to tweak. Did you add Sniffa? No, not yet. Sorry, Drato, I forgot. So, anyways, most Genshin players are mid-20s. Yeah, I think so. I do think that I think most Genshin players at this point are mid-20s. I think there are probably a non-zero amount of Genshin players that may have started Genshin in their teens, but they're now probably in their 20s. So, they already say, didn't they already say they're adding new enemies and stage assets and also UI customization in the last stream? Did they? I don't know. I don't pay that close attention to the... well, I watched the last stream. Did they say that? I don't know. I don't recall them saying that. I hope they did. I hope you are correct in that they did say that. I hope they continue. That's my point, though. Like, I am willing to continue being positive about, like, or not being... I'm willing... saying I'm positive is not the conclusion, really. But I'm willing to continue to be open-minded about trying different things in Milliastra, custom combat and non-custom combat. I'm willing to operate in good faith of giving it a shot. And trying to encourage other people to give it a shot without being sponsored, right? This stream is not sponsored. The one video was, but as a whole, I am not. I am not being paid directly to say positive things about Milliastra, right? I was paid to make the one video that I made. But I am willing to operate in good faith and give it a shot as long as they continue to operate in good faith and try to make their earnest improvements to it. So, anyways. And why will I C6 Nicole if they make custom combat real? Is because I think custom combat can fix a lot of the issues I have with Genshin's combat, which is largely rooted in that in lack of variety of content that allows me to just play the character. Because Genshin's combat systems at a baseline offer a ton of creative freedom for doing different kinds of things. But what the actual damage potentials of those things are is quite hard, even in Abyss nowadays, which doesn't have anywhere near the same DPS track as Stygian. But even Abyss is way harder and way more restricted than it used to be, and like, you know, lack of AoE situations, or the rare times there is like an AoE Abyss, the AoE Abyss is kind of cringe, like the previous one, where like we couldn't just use teams that are strong in AoE, instead it had to be strong in AoE and could like deal with the cryo bullshit and whatever. So yada yada, right? Like, I would like there to be an endgame difficulty combat mode that is possible to make in Milliastra, that is AoE. So if I have an idea for a team that uniquely works better in AoE, characters that work better in AoE, I want that to exist, and Milliastra can solve that problem. I don't fucking need gambling rewards to be able to have fun with Genshin's combat system. I have fun playing Genshin's combat without getting rewards for it. And Kave Shatter, exactly. Like, I just want to be able to have content where I can have silly ideas with characters and be like, yeah, this works well enough, you can have fun with it, right? And it used to be in the past, Abyss was balanced in a way that, generally speaking, yeah, you could do something like Kave Shatter, and it might be a struggle to clear Abyss, but you could. Now it's frankly impossible, basically, most of the time, to use Kave Shatter on a level of it's not worth even making a video about it, because I can't even show it in any content that actually shows it working in a way other than just Overworld. And like, it's fine, I could do that, because I guess most people's experience is probably just Overworld combat, but like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right to me if I can't push it to its limits and make it work in some form of endgame, or not just, like, to be clear, custom combat in Milliastra wouldn't be endgame, I guess, to most players, but it can be difficult combat content, right? So, anyways, and I want that to be possible, but right now it's not really. That's just not really possible. Like, yes, I can technically have 500 hilly trills and show AoE content. It's not really possible in any meaningfully nuanced way to make something that good, is my vibe. So, yeah, it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work. And I hope it continues to improve. And if by the time Nicole comes out, because I like Nicole, if by the time Nicole comes out, custom combat has improved to the level where I feel like the things I want to be possible are possible, even if they don't exist because someone hasn't created it yet. If the functions and systems are there, there's enough enemies and things we can do in it that makes them possible. Yeah, I'll give you money, however. Basically the money, basically all the money that they gave me to make this freaking stupid sponsor video, I'll give it right back to you. I'll give it right back to you for Nicole. Because to be clear, I don't think C6 Nicole is going to be worth doing. No C6 is worth it on any objective level. It's just a thing you do because you want to and you don't give a shit about the money cost. In my case, I do give a shit about the money cost, but I'm willing to do it in exchange as a thank you for making custom combat real. But if I feel that custom combat isn't real, like the current state of it is, then no, I ain't doing it, okay? Anyways. Some like combat, some like goofing around competition, yeah. And the goal in the devs should be to facilitate creation of anything like that. Because it's user-generated content. It has all the potential in the world, but right now there's things that limit people's ability to make things. And ultimately, I think if there continue to be really good things made that people will share, like just on social media, whatever form of social media, then they will slowly get over the negative first impression they cause for a lot of people, right? That's my theory. Red Flame, he's also a YouTuber. He's been trying to learn and stretch the limits of Milliastra. I've not, but I'm willing to reach out to them. I haven't heard of them before. The copy. Actually, I'll just do a search. Red. But anyways, don't expect me to like focus on Milliastra in content. Like my ideal for my content, for as far as utilizing Milliastra. Oh, I have seen this channel before. Okay. Anyways, my goal, like my goal. I'm not gonna make like dedicated Milliastra videos in the future. Like I don't think I'm gonna have a Yap video, but it's fine. I don't think it's necessary. I will just like have a video concept and then it'll happen. Like it's no different than if I go into the damage dummy in Milliastra in a video where I'm showing some team doing whatever it does and be like, yeah, here's the DPS if you care about that kind of thing. It's gonna be the same stuff. If there's, I think, a custom combat situation that showcases a team like an AoE focused team, like I gave an example before, working in Milliastra, I'm just gonna go into Milliastra and do that. I'm not gonna just be like, yeah, you can do this now. I'm not gonna. The video doesn't have to be about Milliastra to utilize it, right? And that's what I want. I just want it to be a thing I can use to show doing fun things in the game's combat. That's all. So, anyways. I like the dummy the best still. I mean, yeah. I think that anyone like us who enjoys the game's combat, the damage dummy is in many ways the best things that has come out of Milliastra. I agree. I don't think Kiwi would agree. But that's fine because she's not a combat engaged player. So, yeah. Anyways. Oh, guess what I got yesterday? Another 50. No. I wish. I got a double crit attack timepiece for Duran, which you can see is not equipped with right now because I just decided to put Duran back on 2-piece in order to decide how much I cared. Because if I do get Varka, well, Varka's kind of got to take the artifacts that I have on Duran, right? Like I don't have enough for a set on Duran and a set on Varka right now. I got this, which is it's like kind of an ideal piece at a baseline, but it was 3-liner, started with 6.2 crit damage, 3.1 crit rate. It has ER and flat attack. It's kind of like other than it being a 3-liner and low rolls, it's the ideal timepiece, but it kind of rolled poopy. So, like if it had ER rolls instead of flat attack, would have been very happy. Instead, it's just kind of like, ugh, god damn it, another fucking reroll piece, right? It's like that's what I needed. More pieces to reroll. Yay!
well, Miss.
Yay. Anyways, it was technically better than what I had before, so yeah. Well, not objectively per se, but it was higher crit value and had flat attack and had ER that the other one didn't. So it wasn't a downgrade. Yay.
If you ever
Actually, should we check what my Vorka build would look like? What would my Vorka build look like? Okay, let's assume, because let's be real, if I do get Varka, even if I have to spend money for it, I'll probably get his Sig weapon because, look, if we want Mr. Duke Duke to be less Duke Duke, you gotta give him, you gotta give him something. So he's a crit damage ascending character. His Sig weapon is 33.1 crit rate, so that's what Arlecchino is. So we'll use Arlecchino here. Actually, wait, I'm dumb. We can use Mawika, she's a Claymore character. So we give you this, it's the same base stats as Vorka's signature weapon. And we select new artifact set. Okay, let's see what Mr. Duke, without rerolls, what does Mr. Duke Duke's build look like? Like, this piece makes up for like the lack of crit in the timepiece. And then my feather is very good. And my flower is very good. No attack percent, but I don't know, it's a 40 CV. Are we really complaining about no attack? And then if I want to, I can give him my 50 CV attack goblet. So that's worth mentioning. I do have that now. It can be a Varka piece. So like, this is probably as not Duke Duke as I can make Mr. Duke Duke. We're technically overcapped on crit rate. That's hilarious. Overcapped in the perfectly fine way, to be clear. This would be a pretty good Varka build. This would be a pretty good Varka build. This is an ideal Duke Duke. Oops. Should I just leave Mawika with the Varka pre-build for now? I'm down. That's the best use of Mawika. Varka pre-builds. Let's go. Give Mawika her weapon back. Oh yeah, if I use Serpent Spine on him, he's no longer overcapped. Yay. So, I don't know. Like, obviously these artifacts would be better. If I wanted to improve him, I could re-roll the timepiece, re-roll this. And realistically, I also would not be defaulting to using this goblet on him always. I would give him something slightly worse, because I'd rather have the better goblet on an Nefa, but if I need to make Varka do the most damage, I'll give him that goblet, right? So, Showcase, Lanya, and Durin together. I feel like, man, the easiest way to go and get me to go do an Abyss run is just be like, hey, Showcase, Lanya. Yeah, sure, why not? Fuck it. Oh, sorry. First, let me finish my farming. Someone redeemed a UID review? Oh, sorry. Who was it? Let's see. I can't find it. How long ago was it? Oh god. Well, whoever did the UID review, can you just put your UID here again? I don't know where it is. Dia other half? Yeah, why not? At what con does Mizuki become fun? Sucrose. Sorry, no. I had to make the joke. Mizuki becomes fun when you use Sucrose instead of her. No. I mean, look, if you like Mizuki... Like, if you want to play Mizuki, it's because you like the idea of just, like, the automatic gameplay aspect and just comfort of play style. Which is fine. I have plenty of teams I like. I mean, this, to some degree, is one of them. Also, sorry, I forget how loud this domain is. Teams that to some degree play themselves. This team doesn't quite play itself. It actually requires a decent management of resources if you want to do optimal damage, particularly having to manage stacks of Staff of Scarlet Sands. Also, by the way, maybe number 1 in Nefa on Akasha might be happening, because I did DM Mime, the Akasha owner, about creating a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard, and they were not against it. So maybe I can yoink number 1 Inefa leaderboard, please? Please make the leaderboard, please. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I have number 1 in Efa if there's a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard, because I have like it's basically a perfect Staff of Scarlet Sands build. Like, it maybe I'll get unlocked. Maybe there's someone with a really good. There might be someone else I'm competing with, right? That has a really good Staff of Scarlet Sands build that I don't know exists, and maybe it would require re-rolling this again to get a better Staff of Scarlet Sands build than this. But like, come on. Anyways, DM about Zibai leaderboard. They're probably working on it. I suspect. I don't think Zibai leaderboard is a complicated one for them to make. Anyways, Mizuki I think is enjoyable at C0. I don't think you're reliant on Mizuki cons for Mizuki to be enjoyable. I think you're reliant on the offfielders you have on your account for Mizuki to be enjoyable. That's my theory. There won't be, surely there won't be any insane well, to be clear, like, if I get number 1 in EFA, I'm sure there will be someone who will take my spot eventually. But, like, part of the reason number 1 in EFA is actually feasible to achieve here, is because the artifact set is new. Right? At some point, I will stop farming the artifact set. So, yeah. Anyways, still no Bino leaderboard? Yeah, well, let's be real. Any column Bino leaderboard is fake AF because of how her ideal build changes so significantly in different team contexts, but I don't know. Technically, you could have a Zibai leaderboard, which is going to bias towards Albaid, and that's fine. You'll have a Flynn's leaderboard that will bias towards, like, Fav, or should bias towards... The real leaderboard for Flynn's leaderboards will be Fav leaderboards with Serenade. Although Albaid can be used to be fine. And then obviously Nefer leaderboards would be Serenade, burst every rotation leaderboards. Like, Nefer leaderboards should only have like 200 ER as categories. So I don't know. Columbina leaderboards seem kind of complicated to do, but they could do good leaderboards technically. Oh, thank you, Vivicious. Nefer. Alright, let's go. I mean, now that this new set existed on Nefa, by the way, like, I wasn't really that much of a fan of no ER, so we'll see what your build is like in a second, but I wasn't that much of a fan of no ER in Nefa before. I felt like before the new artifact set, getting the most value out of a Nefa kind of made her, like I thought she was a complete character if you burst every rotation with her. And I still prefer bursting every rotation for my Dia team, of course, right? And to do that, I would change her build slightly to achieve that goal of mine. Oh yeah, I actually got on a new Anefa flower yesterday, by the way. It's technically a 0 dead stat onset flower, but it's kind of meh. It's kind of, you know, it started with mineral crit damage. It technically high roll crit rate crit damage and high rolled attack percent, but then the ER roll's kind of like, whatever. But anyways, I think I'll actually, I don't know, I'll try, you know, I'll switch to this artifact for that when I go and play Dia here. But anyways, so what was the thing? Oh, like, but you know, I'm quite a fan actually now of burst every other rotation Inefa. I'm a fan of using Inefa in all kinds of ways. And burst every other rotation I think is more relevant than it ever was because of the fact that she has a really good artifact set, like, that juices her damage up quite significantly. So, yup. So I wouldn't feel bad, particularly for if you're farming new artifact set to, like, I don't think you need to prioritize ER unless you have a team context where, like, bursting every rotation is much more relevant, like the weird Columbina, or not Columbina, weird Dia team I play, right? So, depends on your goals. Inefa does not have any absolutes. Why is it put it over? Why is it to the left? There we go. Also, why is it so skinny? Whoop. Inefa 100-200 deathmatch. That's a very satisfying looking ratio. This is, wow, that timepiece is ridiculous. You know what's funny? I think if I had this timepiece, I would also have number 1 in EFA just on, like, like, there's no Sapphire Scarlet Sands leaderboards. I'm pretty sure if I had this timepiece, I would have number 1 though. I think I could get number 1 on multiple leaderboards with this timepiece, so jealous. Your circlet's also better than my circlet, because I got unlucky with my circlet rolls. And I'm pretty sure if I had a better circlet, I'd also have number 1. Keep in mind, I have number 5 on the deathmatch leaderboard with a circlet that has 2 rolls of value. And they're low roll values. So, and my timepiece is also like good, but not incredible kind of thing. So anyways, video of soul building 8 Lua. Oh, you're not going to be happy with an 8 Lua video. I'm sorry. So I'm probably still going to try to make an 8 Lua video. Hope it might come out tomorrow if I'm in the mood. Depends on how long I play games with friends today. But an 8 Lua video is going to be a rant about how he could have had so much fun potential. And then, to be clear, to make it not just a rant video, I do want to show just like 8 Lua getting a big damage number. So I'm going to log on to Sylveon's account and show you how Sylveon is using him as a DPS to do like nuke damage with her team with Shalone and C6. Which, to be clear, a normal player could do the same thing, but like playing with Navia or whatever. And like it's not going to be an ideal team, but it should probably clear Abyss without a problem, kind of idea. And can allow you to use the character with an existing character you might have, and his kit will synergize with the team. It won't be optimal, but it will synergize with the team. Can let you get satisfying damage numbers from him. He can be fun if you want to use him, right? Without Zibai even.
Do you have any additional commands?
But they went out of their way to make sure he only really actually truly makes sense with Zibai. And they didn't have to. And that's going to be the focus of the rant, and that how the most minor of changes could have made him go from hyper niche to one of the most fun characters to build around in the game. So, yeah, so sorry, it's going to be a rant because there's so much lost potential in his kit. Anyways, 130 ER is pretty damn good middle ground. The weird thing though about the middle ground, as you mentioned, with like you don't feel like you had enough ER. This is a very good build, but there are like the generic recommendation if you want to burst every rotation if it's probably more like towards 150 ER, which is hard to do, obviously, without an ER weapon at least, right? But I think that's fine because in your case, just switch to an ER weapon, right? Like you have enough crit rate. Maybe you'd feel the need to switch to a crit rate circlet, whatever. And maybe you have a feather. Like what you would need, for example, to fix your build if you need more ER, swap to Fav, and then put a feather on that has crit rate instead of a bunch of crit damage, right? Or a goblet that has a bunch more crit rate instead of crit damage, kind of thing, and you're good, right? Like you have an Anefa build. Like what you want is you want Anefa artifacts that allow you some adaptability to different situations if you find situations where you do want to burst more or whatever. And yeah, so and I think it's likely you have the right pieces for that.
Please rest assured that I will.
Should I get a lot of EM on Anefa? No, most of our teams are going to usually include a bunch of external EM buffs. Like, keep in mind, functionally this set, like, how much does 20... So right now I have 336 EM. EM, like, is just a stat that in the damage formula converts to reaction damage bonus. AKA, for Anefa, it converts to a lunar damage bonus. So you can press the question mark here and you can see 336 EM on Anefa increases the damage dealt by Lunar Charge, Lunar Bloom, Lunar Crystallize by 86%. So a set that gives a total of, I believe it's 60%, right? Further increased by 40. Yeah, it's 60% total if you're an Ascendant Gleam. So 20% though, 20% is equivalent to almost 200 EM, I believe, right? Just this artifact set alone without the Ascendant Gleam is equivalent to a shit ton of EM. And then 60% is just even more a shit ton of EM. And then you have other like lunar damage bonus sources like Columbina Burst is equivalent to a bunch of EM, right? And then you have 2-piece bonus, EM. And then you have like Serenade set, that gives EM, right? So like you have so many sources of external EM buffs, you don't really ever build extra EM on purpose unless you're using Staff of Scarlet Sands. And then the ideal is having one main stat of EM, either Timepiece or Goblet, depending on what gives you the best balance of substats. Other one should technically be attack percent, but if you happen to have a better like EM Goblet than attack Goblet, then you should probably, you can still use EM Goblet, to be clear. And EM Goblet might be relevant to use, I guess, more if you're using Anefa as a Hyperbloom trigger. You can technically do that. So there are contexts where you would build full EM, I guess, for that. But for most purposes, you don't really purposely build extra EM on her, other than main stat being an okay option generically if you don't have an attack timepiece, or it being the ideal option if you're using specifically this weapon. The lunar damage you get from EM is diminishing, I'm aware. It's an oversimplification, yes, to say that specifically it's equivalent to X amount of EM, because it depends on what total things you have going on, yes. But for the purposes of how people build characters, the point was just to illustrate the point that lunar damage bonus is equivalent to a bunch of EM. The exact amount of EM it is equivalent to is not worth over-focusing on, in my opinion, because it doesn't really result in a gameplay difference to the vast majority of players, is my opinion. But yes, you are correct. I have another attack up I have a 111 ER with 100 to 15 crit ratio. Swap for that, damage maxing and Skyward Spine for the ER. Yep, that's kind of what my strategy is currently. I really like Skyward Spine for that purpose, for giving her flexibility for that, particularly because it's very feasible to have, I shouldn't say very, but it's not that hard to have a Skyward Spine build that runs a crit damage circlet, right? Okay. We looking for Chiori pieces. Do I need to lock this on principle? How much do I care about a Freyna piece in 2026? I don't think at all. I have way too good of a freaking tenacity build for Freyna. I mean, I'm looking for Chiori pieces. I wasn't looking for that Chiori piece, per se. But I'm not against it. I'm really looking for either an on-site goblet or a circlet. Particularly a circlet. I just want a crit rate circlet. Or sorry, a crit damage circlet. I believe is actually what I want. I want a crit damage circlet because of Harbinger of Dawn. A crit rate circlet would be acceptable too, because I can use crit stat stick weapons like this. There are even people who still use Troop Freyna. I mean, I'm sure there are. There's lots of people who build a character and then never change their build ever. Okay, yeah, this is my current piece, which is not very... Oh, should I just throw it straight in? Like, I shouldn't. It's probably a mistake to throw it straight in, but also... I did say this was a Gamba stream. No, I have faith. This is a sign. This is going to be a sign to me of how much effort I should continue putting in to improving Chiori. Okay, that's what the game is going to tell me right here. Right here, right now. I'm taking a risk. I got this from Strongbox. The double crit death time piece for our girl Chiori. I already have a piece that's, I mean, technically it has no bad rolls, but let's be real, we want crit, not flat def. I would like, the goal of this is to get one more additional crit roll. That's my goal. And this is going to be the sign to me of whether or not it is worth it to continue farming to improve my Chiori. You're going to tell me the signal right now, game. And I'm taking a risk here because it could be worse. It could be worse than my existing timepiece. So I was taking a risk throwing away my existing timepiece. She technically scales on attack, by the way. That's not bad. But that's part of why I was willing to throw this away. I should have specified that, maybe. Okay. We lost a crit roll and we gained 20% attack. Guys, she is dual scaling. Like, part of her damage is attack based. I want to emphasize. I think this was an upgrade. We lost a very small amount of crit damage in exchange for 4 attack rolls. I'm pretty certain. Also, it has more crit rate. That's true. I'm pretty certain this is actually a better piece. I don't know what that means, though, for the sign of how much effort I put into improving her in the future. I'm not sure what that's a sign of. I really don't know. No, I'm not re-rolling this piece. She's attack scaling too, you say as they drag you into a padded room. Take her to the test dummy. I don't have a circlet right now. I don't have 4-piece troop for her unless I yoink my kind of sad crit rate circlet. I threw away a piece in... what did I do? I threw away a piece in trying to level things because it was kind of cope, and I was like, you know what, it's fine, because I want to improve her build anyways. Oh yeah, I threw away an onset goblet. Yeah. I threw away her onset goblet into this goblet, which this also has a bunch of attack percent rolls, by the way. And this goblet was an improvement. This goblet is an improvement over her old goblet, and like it has really high stat value. But now I need an onset circlet because I threw away a very meh onset goblet from before. But now I need an onset circlet. So that's the problem I have right now, and why I am farming. That's a good one. Yeah, it's a great goblet for her.
Accelerating.
It's def percent main stat too, right? So you can't get, like, obviously geo percent would be a little bit better, but beggars can't be choosers, okay? Anyways, cats in the room? There are. You want a cat cam quick? Where my app? There's my app. Look at the creature. Is there someone up there? Nope, that's an empty basket. But yeah, also a car outside the window. The cats keep on going behind the blinds and then opening the blinds functionally because this cat tree is pushing against the blinds ever so slightly, so it just stays open, but it's fine. It gives them easy access. So, anyways, there's a creature. A sleepy creature.
Reviewing outstanding items on today's to-do list. Do you have
Car
any
both
additional
outside and
repairs?
inside the home. Yup.
No problem. I can add them shortly. I'm quite used to it.
What? Oh, I need to do a daily because I didn't have... Frick, okay. I guess... Which daily do we want to do? Constructs or whimsy? How... this one. Okay. Bro zoinked out? Yeah. He spends most of his time zoinked out. I mean, they're cats. That's what cats do. They're very active for bursts of energy, and then they're just sleepy. They are the ideal form of living existence. Hi, please. Thank you. And now we claim dailies. Okay. And then we log into Polearms only. And then we log into Endfield to end off the stream. To do a quick gamba. Maybe quick gamba. We'll see. Hopefully quick gamba, because I think I'm making my friends wait. I did tell my friends I was maybe going to stream playing games today, but I don't know if I'm in the mood to try to like maintain energy to stream for like 6 hours straight. Doing stuff with my friends. I tend to enjoy my gaming sessions with them more when they're private. So, yep. Staff of Scarlet Sand stacking work. It's always near best in slot on mini characters. Yeah, because double dipping in the value of EM stats and converting it to attack is really strong. That's why. And it has very high crit value, which is also strong. Crit is good. The only problem it has nowadays is for like characters that, you know, some characters can struggle to get max stacks on it. Some characters can, and getting max stacks obviously changes the relative value of how EM could be. Like if you have like an attack based damage dealer, EM is a better stat at a baseline with Staff of Scarlet Sands than attack, generally speaking. And Nev is in a little bit of a weird case where, like, even though that is the case, you still don't automatically build like double EM instead of double attack because of how many sources of functionally what is EM already. But anyways, it just was, sorry, you get the stacks by hitting with a skill. And there is no cooldown for hitting with a skill, so it is very easy to max the stacks, for example, by activating Indef as E in AoE. And you get these stacks for 10 seconds. So like in this team, if I want to try to keep up damage properly, there's a little bit of management with trying to swap to Inefa at smart times to time when her like skill hits to keep up stacks because it will refresh the duration. But other than that, it's just skill hitting opponents, and it doesn't work off field. So that's why you have to swap to on field, which is the awkward thing. But if you can work around it, it can be a really strong weapon. The characters that would be ideal, though, like it's a little awkward to use on Inefa. But even then, like even if you don't max stacks on it, it's still pretty damn good, right? like really good. It's not worse damage on my Nefa than if I don't get max stacks, right? So my Raiden build is her ideal build for this team. I am really curious. I think I might actually try to get C2 Raiden when she reruns. Like, why not? I don't know. I'd enjoy it at this point, and no one's gonna give a shit about anyone having a C2 Raiden. Like, yeah, C2 Raiden is unrelatable compared to C0 Raiden, but let's be real. no one cares in 2026 if obviously it'd be more impressive to use a non-C2 Raiden to clear Dire, but there's not many contexts where it matters, and it will allow me to use Raiden in more team contexts on my account. I know it'll just allow me to enjoy her more. Like, quite frankly, I am more like the idea of getting C2 Raiden and using Raiden more in Stygian Onslaught than pulling Flins to use Flins in Stygian Onslaught. I like Flins, but I enjoy Flins on Polearms only. I don't actually feel that much need to have them on my main account, right? So, anyways, yeah, hit with skill to get stacks. That can be awkward because it's only on field, and it can be awkward in single target. So like in Nefa, for example, if you just EQ, in doing EQ, you should get 2 stacks, but probably won't get 3 stacks unless you think about the timing of certain things. So what I like to do, for example, is like E on a Nefa, and then I'll do like a burst on Columbina, do like a Sucro Swirl, swap back to a Nefa, and then burst. And because I did that initial E that got a stack, and then I bursted, and then while I'm doing my burst animation, she should hit with another skill, that usually gets 3 stacks, right? So, but then managing it mid-rotation to keep up the stacks without going to 0 stacks is a little awkward. So, yep. Anyways, yeah, C2 Raiden, like in this team specifically, I don't know what effect it would have. Like, she's not doing that much damage. It's like Raiden is, with C2, will still be doing less damage than Columbina and Nefa. But it would be more fun. Like, one thing I'm very curious of, that might be the case, it might actually be better to do Serenade Columbina and 4-piece Night Sky artifacts on Raiden to min-max her damage with C2, compared to doing Serenade Raiden with Columbina on Albeid, right? Because Columbina's damage doesn't get that much better to a degree where it could be worth it, whereas Raiden with C2 might scale well enough that it's actually worth focusing on her damage to a level that you sacrifice Columbina's damage a little bit, right? Is my thinking. I could be wrong on that. Could be very wrong. But yeah. Anyways, we'll see. So there's a good chance I am going to at least throw a few tentpoles to try to get C2 Raiden when she reruns. I was originally like stubborn about not doing that because, you know, wanting to be like, yeah, a non-C2 Raiden can still clear content, and she can. But at this point, if you're going to clear Stygian at least, you definitely don't need C2 Raiden for Abyss, in my opinion. If you think you need C2 Raiden for Abyss, I think you are not focusing on your supports enough. She's still a pain in the ass to use. She takes a lot of investment into supports, and she takes a lot of investment into her build. But anyways, why do I keep clicking on Milliastra? Raiden can be used in endgame, even difficult endgame. Look, this is this non-C2 Raiden clearing the dire difficulty of Stygian Onslaught, and this was a lot easier to do than when I did my original dire clear, where I used Durin Veresa here, right? This was way easier. It was easier with Raiden than Veresa. Now, to be clear, it's because I worked on and put a bunch of resources into min-maxing the Columbina and Nefa combo, and I could probably swap Raiden for a lot of characters technically. But I don't think they would actually be meaningfully better than Raiden here, because Raiden actually does a very good job functionally buffing Columbina and Nefa by making them burst every rotation. Whereas the builds I have on Columbina and Nefa right now, without Raiden in the team, would not burst every rotation. So, yeah. Anyways. I use the same team, just Yai instead of Raiden got around the same time. Yeah, exactly. That's like, yep, I understand. I think if you put any Electro DPS in place of Raiden here, it probably performs relatively similar. Like, I'm pretty sure I would get the same clear times with Chlorind on my account, for example, and probably with Yai. Well, maybe better with Yai. Actually, oh, okay. That would make me a little sad, actually, if I put Yai in there and Well, would it? No, I mean, it's a C3i at this point. No, like, yeah, it should be better, I would think, with that investment. Never mind. Anyways, we're not going to do it right now. Because someone requested a showcase of Lanyon, and I don't mind excuses to do around with Lanyon. Let's see what the Abyss buffs are for the day. We'll do Lanyon on the first side with Duran. Duran's right now in 2-piece. He is C2, keep that in mind, but as always, so this team, if you replace Duran with Farina, Duran C0 is worse than Farina in this team as far as the overall team performance on a generic level, not factoring in whether or not, you know, Hydro is better against some enemies and Pyro is better against some enemies. Duran is worse than Farina at a baseline, I would say. Well, okay, C0 Duran is worse than C2 Farina. I haven't played DPS on without C2 Farina, unfortunately, but I don't think C2 Farina is that impactful for the team, but I do think C1 Farina is very nice. So I would say C0 Duran is worse than C1 Farina for this team. C1 Duran is about equivalent, and C2 Duran is meaningfully better. But not so meaningfully better that it's like a difference in... I don't think it would make that much of a difference in my ability to clear Abyss. But it will be a difference in the damage numbers you see on screen. So keep that in mind if you're going to try to emulate this for yourself. I'm just definitely gonna click the overload team for a second, but no, the second side is super lunar charge shield, or not lunar charge, super electro charge shield. So we are not going to do that. I will change my Nefa build. Why not? I'll try the new artifact I got. That, and then this allows me to, what, change the circlet? I think I'm just gonna be, no, I definitely should change the circlet. I was gonna say I'm just gonna be lazy. No, that would be bad. Crit rate. I didn't select crit damage. Sure, yeah, just yoink that. There we go. Okay. Enough. Now 155 ER, 85, 192. That's so ridiculous for having Skyward Spine. Anyways, look, we're using 5 4-stars. Let's go. So Constellation investment. Well, Dia's C6, but she's a standard banner character. Okay. Limited 5-star investment is only 3 limited 5-stars here, right? Well, Dia's weapon, I guess, counts as an additional one. Yeah. Anyways. I need a review. Oh, did you do it? You pushed me outside of Bennett's range. Oh, crap. Ideally, I would have gotten the second skill out before he did that. A little slow. Alright. We'll do the review after I finish this. What review do you want, Jen? Check my Raiden. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a little bit slow. No, butthole. This is the worst enemy to get. No, god damn it. Die, please. Oh my god, this is so bad. This is so bad. I've literally cleared this like 15 seconds faster than this. Terrible. 20 seconds faster. I'm pretty sure my best clear was like 43 seconds with that team. Anyways. Yeah, Dia is on her weapon, so yeah. There are certainly people who use characters with teams with much more limited 5-star investment than these teams are. Even though it is a C2 Duran, so I think it's acceptable. Anyways, and that's part of the reason I was fine with getting C2 Duran for Lanyon as well, because Lanyon's, like, my preferred Lanyon team doesn't include any other 5-stars anyway. So it's like, ooh, whoop-de-doo, I have 3 5-stars of investment. You're playing premium Nefer? Congrats. You have more investment than my Lanyon team, technically, from most people's perspective. Anyways. Browser. Oops, why did I open a new tab? I don't know. Whatever. Raiden real quick. Engulfing C2. Very nice. 77, 151, 265. Very nice. This is an extremely good Raiden build. Definitely, probably top 1%. Maybe, well, I don't know. Raiden builds are so competitive. This is an extremely good Raiden build, but it still might not be top 1%. But you have enough attack percent stats that I'm pretty sure it is top 1%. But you're lacking in your flower. I mean, this is stupid CV that makes up for it. Maybe the feather technically holds it back from being a top 1% build. I sure hope this is a top 1% Raiden. In fact, I'm going to say it's top, like, 0.5%. I fucking nailed it. Look, I know Raiden builds. I know Raiden builds. I love when I can predict the ranking. I was a little off, to be clear, but, you know, whoop-de-doo. Sorry, I was less than 0.1% off. But, yeah, and I was right that the feather is the lowest quality piece. Not surprised. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. That's a Raiden build that takes way too long to get, by the way. Why did I do... Whatever, okay. Just nerf my Dia damage for no reason, because I didn't burst. He's what it is. And these dudes are... You know what? Just die. Just die. I don't want to burst on you. Just redo this rotation. Okay. Whatever, we do a slow clear for funsies. Okay. Oh, goddamn, I mistimed that. Alright. There's my baby price. Okay. I timed all that poorly, by the way. Don't worry about it. You know what? No, we're redoing. That was terrible. That was terrible. I just counted what cost the teams I use for Abyss were. They're 19 costs. Yeah.
Have fun with this gift. Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's swift is the swallow.
We got 2 non-crits in the burst. Unfortunate. Good. Couldn't have to do that dodge there, because I was going to iframe, or no, iframe. I was going to. Oh, it's the good one. Oh, crap! I should have waited. Oh, I didn't hit with my thing. Oh, I didn't burst with Bennett. No, I needed to burst with Bennett to kill it with Farazan rather than wasting Lanyan's damage. Okay. See, I wasn't lying about a 33-second clear. That was a 34, and I made a mistake. That could have actually been my record clear. Anyways, why do Abyss retries when you're redoing first chamber? I agree. Yeah, I wish they would let you just redo individual chambers. Alright, do real gameplay this time. Bam, and bam, and we go over here. Bam. And we use Dia, and we push them back into range. Or, no, we don't need, not back into range, they're already in range on them. Okay, you're gonna take ball damage, yep. Okay. Good. Oh, we need to go around him. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, that's fine. Slow down. Okay, slowing down just to make sure we have Hydro application, because if we're attacking rapidly, we can miss a couple vapes sometimes. It's not that big a deal, generally speaking. To miss, like, one vaporize. But if the enemy is doing something where we can't damage it anyways, you may as well slow down to allow for Hydro application to happen in order to not lose a vaporize. So, anyways, I also probably shouldn't have bursted there, by the way, because now I won't have my burst at the start of the next chamber, but I did it for style. It's much more satisfying to defeat it with all my energy. It's much satisfying to defeat it. Crap. Okay. Without. Let's see. We're going to not use Lanyan. We need to transition into the next wave, so we're going to purposely slow clear this. Getting optimal clears in this chamber is really awkward. It depends, being that I start with low energy, that obviously slowed things down a little bit. But we also are purposely being a lot slower because we want to line up properly with... Ow. That was not optimal. With the way up. So what I'm going to do here is this and this. We're going to kill this with a charge attack. We do this. We do this. We burst. We do this. We do this. Arc shield. We do this. We do this. You should be dead now. There we go. You're dead now. First skill. That should break shield. Should proc sack. Done. Bam. Alright. Charge attack. Charge attack. Not quite dead. Got a little bit unlucky with crits. Bam. Now you're dead. There you go. That was pretty optimal. Could have been better time with energy start. We will go here. And by the way, that is exactly why the team is so freaking engaging to play to me. It is comfortable to play while forcing a meaningful amount of gameplay optimization of doing various things in order to clear well. And I find it a lot of fun. And that's just gameplay routing. With enemy mechanics and whatnot. Oh, you were so close to dead without getting out of your immune or your low res phase. Lame. Get my energy for the next chamber. Stab trigger. Yeah. There we go. Bro, stop avoiding damage. There you go. Okay. There you go. Dowdy standard. I hope Varka's free. He's free because they want to get players from Steam, guys. They're launching on Steam. He'll be free. I'll consider even going for C1 if he's... What does the C1 do? Wait, is the C1... Actually, okay. If the C1 pushes him more towards... We're talking about Varka. If Varka's C1 pushes him more towards his pyro niche, then I don't give a shit about it. But if it gives him more flexibility with shenanigans, like with other elements, I'm very down. If he's free at a baseline. Let me check. I don't remember what they did. When Vorka switches to Storm and Drong, he will obtain an I don't think I pronounced that right, but I'm just being silly. Additional use of special skill. Okay. I mean, that's better now than it was before because they made his normal attacks faster. And wait, but he starts with no cooldown when he gets into a special state of his skill. I'm assuming he gets this one for free. Otherwise, it wouldn't make any sense at all. Additionally, after switching to it, gain a special effect when unleashing the skill for Wind's Ascension or when performing a special charge attack. Varka can consume this effect to deal 200% of the original damage. Okay. So his skill does a lot more damage. It's just really good. Okay. So C1 is just really good. Yeah, I hope he's free. I'm down with getting C1. That's my vibe on it, I'm guessing. Could be wrong, but... Alright. Yeah. Verse. Oh yeah, with C6 Lanyon, on rotations... on rotations where I am using an extra Lanyon skill, because you don't have Lanyon skill up every rotation. I have found it, generally speaking, better to Farazan burst before. Die, please. Hello. Thank you. Farazan burst before Bennett, but if I don't have an additional Lanyon skill available, if I'm only doing 2, I failed a sack frags reset. That's so incredibly rare, you have no idea. Oh my god. Well, there you go. Sometimes sack frags trolls you. To be clear, like... Oh man, I did the first enemy really well. But anyway, like, point is, most rotations, Bennett before Farazan. Some rotations, Farazan before Bennett. Just depends. Anyways, what I was saying though, sack for eggs reset. Lanyon's skill hits a million times, not a million times. It has an 80% chance to trigger, as long as it wasn't on cooldown, which it shouldn't have been. I don't think. Yeah, no, because I used all my skills before, so yeah, it should have been off cooldown. An 80% chance to trigger for every single skill hit Lanyon does, and she hits, I believe, 12 times, if I recall correctly, with one skill. So that is 12 times, like a 20% chance. Incredibly unlikely. No, it feels so wrong. No, it happens enough. Like statistically, it happens enough that I know something is fucky in Genshin's coding or with the server check that causes the sack frags to fail. Like, it shouldn't basically never fail. Essentially, it should be extremely rare. Like if I saw it once every few years, it should be. With how much I play Lanyon, I have seen it a very non-zero amount of times. I've probably seen it like 5 or 6 times, and which is still not that often, to be clear, with how much I play Lanyon. But it's often enough that it's like far above the chances that you would normally expect, to a degree that there must be something else going on, and most likely that's something else. Nice. Oh, oh my gosh. Oops. Most likely that's something else. I'm willing to bet is something with a Genshin server check. When in doubt, it's probably something fricky with Genshin being... Oh, I didn't bet it first, whatever. With the fact that Genshin does so many server checks for so many parts of the game. Anyways, right. Because we only did one less skill on Lanyon, we spent a little bit more time on Farazan here. And maybe if I'd landed a few more crits, it would be dead already, but oh well. Oh my god, Farazan didn't crit. There we go, Lanyon got the kill technically. Cooldown on the check for this. The cooldown lines up with Lanyon's skill cooldown. And Lanyon's, and you might be like, oh, well, like Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. Like I've had issues with Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers where it has, like if I'm using Thrilling Tales on Charlotte, where she has a 20-second burst cooldown, and I'm bursting every rotation with Charlotte, and then going from Charlotte into Skirk. I have had issues where Thrilling Tales does not get given to Skirk every rotation. And the reason that happens is functionally the cooldown is longer than it actually is because of some, again, probably weird server check bullshit. And it means that Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers may as well have a 21-second cooldown, in my opinion. But Sackfrags has a 16-second cooldown with Lanyon having a 16-second cooldown, so the same thing like Charlotte has a 20-second burst cooldown with 20-second cooldown on Thrilling Tales, right? The difference with Sackfrags is Lanyon's skill hits a bunch of times. It's not just immediately off of the 16 seconds, right? It actually has a delay after the 16 seconds too, so that shouldn't be a factor that much. It might be a minor factor theoretically. A cooldown in between each hit, it shouldn't. It does not appear that Sackfrags has any cooldown. Otherwise, like if Sackfrags had a cooldown between each hit, like let's say like it doesn't have anything in its description, but if it had like a 0.3 second cooldown in between checking for skill hits to trigger the effect, Lanyon would miss the Sackfrags reset very often rather than extremely rarely, right? 1 in every 15,625? Yeah, exactly. And I have not used Lanyon. I use Lanyon a lot, but for how often, I have seen it again like 5 or 6 times. So like the chances of that I see the Sackfrags failure as often as I have, relative to how often I've used Lanyon, like I have not pressed Lanyon's skill 15,000 times, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe I have, I don't know. I don't think I have. I do play Lanyon a lot though, so we'll just start with skill. I'm not gonna bother with burst. We have energy. There's just no reason to. We just wait for the duckles to be destroyed. Now I burst because they're almost dead. Oh, they are dead, huh? I have to run to them. And do that. Not an ideal lineup there because I didn't realize they were so close. Could have bursted earlier. Good. Oh, damn, didn't quite kill. And there you're dead. There you go. Hey, Aino got the kill. There you go. But as you can tell, Aino's clearly a bad character, guys. Alright, anyways. Let's go. I'm making my friends wait, so let's go on to Endfield. Wait, I need to go. Whatever. Frick, Polearms only doesn't need to. I might log in later. Maybe I'll remember. Polearms only. It'll be fine if I don't log in for a day. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Enough Genshin for the day. For now. Let's go into Endfield and do my gamba. Bling bling. So yeah, we're not pulling for. I'm also not going to switch the Twitch category. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. So this is just going to be Gambit content. I would like to actually do more stuff in Endfield, to be clear. I'm down with doing that on stream even, but not right now. But anyways, we're not pulling Gilberta. Well, okay, technically I have the headhunting dossier. We're not pulling Gilberta. We're not pulling. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not pulling the Lanyon VA character because I already have her. Because the weird thing in Endfield is when you pull on a limited banner, you can get the characters from that are on the next banners as a 50-50 loss. When I wished on the Leviathan banner, I already got Gilberta. I got the character I wanted more anyways. So, oh look, free wishes. Oh, is that a time? Oh, it's a time-limited wish too. We'll spend it. Why not? We get 5 pulls for free for Gilberta's banner alone. Oh, and what's in the mail? A bunch of shit from Perlica. Okay, thanks. Sanity things. I mean, I can use those for leveling up some stiffs. All right. The headhunting dossier you owned is converted into. Okay, yeah, cool. So we go to headhunting. Yeah, thank you. So I don't feel like yapping about a lot of the things. So I do have the headhunting dossier, and we have temporary pulls. So I will spend the temporary pulls in the dossier. Why not? Now the dossier doesn't count towards any kind of pity. So like you can see 75 attempts to a 6-star, and it also the 120 attempts to guarantee doesn't count towards anything. It's just a free 10 pull that I got from wishing 60 times in the previous banner. It's just like a FOMO mechanic. So functionally, most of the time, all it does is give you an occasional free 4-star, or 5 stars in this game technically, but 4 stars are 5 stars in this game. 6 stars are the equivalent of 5 stars in Genshin, although like as far as like they're the highest rarity thing. So anyways, I want her engine though, or her engine. I mean, look, it is an engine. I want her weapon. It'll make her do more damage, make her ult more, give her all the stats she needs, gives arts damage bonus. Yeah, I want it. Anyways, the thing I didn't know though, what weapons are on her banner? I think this one's kind of shit. This I already have. This I think is kind of shit. I'm not sure though, I could be wrong. This I wouldn't mind. I like the panda. This is the panda's best weapon. And this I wouldn't mind at all. I would put this on my boy. My Mr. Poggers. So I like the sword. So if I lose to anything, also I'd be fine with losing to this because I'm playing DPS Perlica most of the time anyways, and I think this will work quite well on DPS Perlica. I'd be happy to get it. So be fine to get Oblivion. Wedge I already have. Oblivion, Thermite Cutter, or Exemplar. So you know what? Half of them being fine is, I guess is fine. Weapon Banner, by the way, has a 4% base rate. So like, and you get the Weapon Banner currency for when you wish for characters. You should technically only wish because you don't have any carryover guarantee, same as Character Banner. You should probably only wish when you have a guarantee to get the weapon. But with a 4% base rate, it's a 25% chance you get the rate up weapon. So, you know, it could be very possible for you to get like, it's not that unlikely to in 80 pulls to get 6 5-star six 6-star weapons, 6 of the high rarity things, and then not win the 25-75 because there's a 25% chance to get it, right? But you get so many valuable 6 stars in general because of the base rate that it's, I think, a pretty important factor of what banners for weapon banners make sense to wish on in Endfield is what the weapons you can lose to are. And these 6 weapons can change. They choose them, right? Because there's more than like 6 standard weapons. So anyways, I can also use the Battle Pass 6-star. Fuck that. I understand that Battle Pass 6-star is fine. I don't care. I like, my girl deserves it. Okay? Screw you. Anyways. Screw you for trying to advise me to do a smart thing. I don't care. So anyways, that's the actual gamba we're doing. I'll do this quick because why not? But yeah, most of the time I think the free like dossier 10 pull does, I believe, nothing. Unless it gives you a 6-star, which would be just lucky. This, I believe, is not a 6-star. I have heard that apparently mid this animation, so we would have seen a little rainbow there, and it would have switched to red if there was a 6-star. I have heard that apparently so the little handle when you pull it should be red when you get a 6-star, but apparently you can see an animation where it shows like 5-star when you pull the handle, and then switches to 6-star mid animation when the crates actually fall. So, anyways, do I get a Perlica or something? No, actually, I'll take her. I like her design. Okay. No complaint. Maybe there's another 5-star here. The more free 5-stars I get, the happier I be. Alright, nothing. Alright, that's fine. That's about what I would have expected as a result for that, and that's fine. Also, there is, I think, temporary pulls in the shop. Oh, Lesh is in here now. Which is, yeah. And I think I'm fine with buying these. I'm fine with a chance that are early. And this will also give me a little bit of pity. Now, your pity for this, like the 120... Wait, that did count towards the... Oh, that's weird. I thought the free headhunting dossier doesn't count towards pity. Huh. Okay, so the thing that I got, that free 10 pull that I got for doing 60 pulls in the previous banner. And I stopped at that point because I got an early Gilberta, and that was the character I wanted more than Leviathan anyways. But I thought that didn't count towards pity, but maybe it's only the 30 pull thing. Because when you do 30 pulls, you get this urgent recruitment thing, and that one definitely does not count towards pity. So the dossier counts and the urgent one doesn't? Interesting. Okay, that's funky. Huh. Alright, that's fine. Anyways, so I'm building up a little bit of pity technically towards the next 6-star I get in general, but it will be a 50-50 for that 6-star. I theoretically should maybe save the pulls that I got or save the pity. I'm fine if I get in early, I don't care. I also just want more 5-stars right now in general for dupe copies of characters I'm playing, so yeah. Anyways, but I don't want to use my pulls that I can save. I'm just throwing my temporary pulls. We'll see. Alright, skip. Antal. I gotta actually mess around with using... Oh, nice. Mess around with using Antal for Perlica in place of Aviwena. I kind of want to like see what happens if I go all into Perlica's damage rather than having Aviwena as an additional damage dealer. I don't think it'll be better. Oh, another one of you. Alright. Is there a rate up on this banner? No, doesn't say there is. Okay, just RNG, I guess. The real question is, do I want to do a total of... do I engage with the FOMA mechanic? I probably shouldn't. Why is she yapping so much? I probably shouldn't, because there are characters from the next region that I assume are releasing next patch that I'm interested in. So I probably shouldn't be dumb and go for the urgent recruitment. That is definitely FOMO mechanic. Alright, well, that was exciting. Nothing special there, that's fine. We want weapon. And I don't care that it's not an optimal use of thing. Gonna go for Yvonne. I don't know. I'll have to try her in her trial. I don't know. Right now, I'm just like, there's not, like, without knowing what characters I like to play or without meeting that many of them in story, I don't have a strong glomming onto many characters. So, it's not like I'm that against just being like, yeah, fuck it, go for it. Wait, okay, actually, real question. What's a dupe of you do? Also, yeah, show that animation. Anyways, thank you, Lanyon. I've heard dupes in this game for 6-stars tend to be kind of shit. Gravity mode in battle skill, it just increased radius on her grouping. Okay. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I've had a circumstance where I felt like she needed more AoE, so that does seem kind of shit. So, yeah, would prefer not getting dupes of her. The funny thing that could happen, though, is that getting Yvonne would be very funny. Like, it'd be really funny to get Gilberta from Leviathan banner and then get Yvonne from Gilberta banner, I must admit. But anyways, let's go into this. Let's do the gamba I've actually been waiting for. So yeah, the weapons I actually lose to, because I am expected to lose to some weapons here, are important to me. But we'll see what happens. It would be funny if it just pooped it on me immediately. But yeah, 4% base rate, by the way. So, expected to get multiple 6-stars. It's not weird at all to get an early. Like, it's about as likely to get an early from just doing up 10 pull as it is to not get one. It's pretty much a 50-50 chance, I believe, on doing a 10 pull and getting in early. If you don't get any... But there is pity, though. I believe every 40 pulls, you are guaranteed to at least get 1 6-star. So, anyways, and I have enough to guarantee this, I believe. So, bram. And I need more weapons in general, by the way. So, kind of fine with this. How can I tell? Oh, okay, this is no... I think that is all 5 stars. I think red is, again, 6 stars. So, I'll just skip. That is, I think that's Chen's sword. Nice, and the claymore. Alright, that I already have. Cool. Alright. So now, it'd be a little bit unlucky to not get in early, since I didn't get in early before. See? That is a 6-star. I told you. What do we get, though? Controller comparable? Or, sorry, controller. What did I read? Combat comparable to any other gotchas? It's... I think it does a good job being its own thing while not being that foreign. Like, it does a good job at being its own thing, but also not being unfamiliar. Okay? Great. I think that's the shittiest one on this banner, potentially. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't actually know. Let's not try to be confident, but that is one of the ones I definitely didn't give a shit about. Cool. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it'll be useful sometime. The problem is it seems kind of fucking niche. It's probably good on Arclight, I assume, right? I'm using Arclight. Is this good on Arclight? It's probably good on Arclight, right? Wait, does she apply... Does Arclight apply electrification? I don't remember. Hopefully it's good on Arclight. I'll probably try it on her. Anyways. Bam. Five-star. 1 5-star? Bruh. 1? It's a cool looking sword though. What would it do? Secondary attribute wielder consumes an arts reaction. That seems pretty good. Agility is kind of niche, but I don't know. What's this for? This looks like is this a Tong Tong weapon? I wonder if it's a Tong Tong weapon. She's not in the game yet. Alright. So, do another one. Wow, I'm not very good at this game, yeah, clearly. Wow, fuck you. 1 5-star again and no 6-star. Bruh. What do? Bruh. Cry on, that is... Zahik? No. What the fuck is this for? I don't know. It is a cryo polearm, though. That is a Scofier weapon. Alright, well, we're 40 pulls in. We've only got 1 6-star. That's quite unlucky, actually. But... Oh, well. Oh my god, are you serious? Alright, this is some shit luck. This is her second best weapon, technically, I believe. And this is actually a Perlica weapon, so I'll take that. I think it is, at least. But I would have, like, been more fine with getting more 6 stars, you know, game. A Thermite Gutter would mean I don't have to choose. I haven't, like, done any of my choice box selector thingers. Thank you. I haven't done any of my choice box selector thingers yet, so... Like, getting a Thermite Cutter here would be perfectly fine, and then I don't have to have the temptation to choose it from the box. Cool. Alright. Are you fucking with me? You know, I did go into this saying positive things about the weapon banner structure. I'm suddenly feeling differently about the weapon banner structure. Another Perlica weapon and that thing. Okay. Well, this is guaranteed. Wow, crazy. How unexpected that would happen. Well, that was shitty fucking luck. I got one of the weapons that does, I think, the least for me. No, I mean, it's not a tech down situation. I went into this knowing what I was guaranteed to get. What the fuck is this? Wait, what? 2 more issues for extra. Extra what? Oh, interesting. Huh. I didn't know that was a feature. I mean, that's probably worth doing, no? Are refinements any good? I don't know. I have no way to properly evaluate that right now. Yeah, I mean, that is more FOMO bullshit, like, but like that's much better for me to do right now than fucking doing a 10 pull on this banner. Like, this is tempting to get Mr. Pogger's weapon, right? Is that a selector or just another? I think it's a selector, no? Like, it says express delivery, and then it pops up a menu that I can choose to get one thing. I don't think it's worth it. Save your currency? Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about things. Alright, they do this? Did they do a new one of these every single... Oh yeah, they do. Okay. Because, yeah, it's specific to the banner. Yeah, alright. Well, that was, that was not the result I would have wanted, by the way. I was really, really fucking hoping to get more than that out of this. But, anyways, do you apply electrification? I think you do. Apply electric infliction. Yeah, okay. You only do it on your alt, I believe. The enemy has an electric infliction. Consume it. Yeah, you consume on your skill. And you don't do it on your combo trigger. It's just based on triggering from electric infliction. But you do apply electric infliction on your alt. So I believe this weapon is probably best for Arclight. It also looks nice on her. So... yay. I guess that's technically a win. But even if it's not my preference, oh well. Oh well. Because hyper niche ass weapon. Like,
I can feel it breathing.
What other characters use that? I don't know. I think she's a sword. You might technically. So here, enjoy a blue sword because I mean I gotta level it right now, but you can have it equipped even though I'm not using you right now. I don't know. Enjoy the blue stick. Successfully convinced me not to play Endfield. Good job, Endfield. Yep. Having a really sad gotcha happen sequence. I mean, to be clear, that was like expected. I definitely did quite expect to have to go to pity for getting her weapon. I just really wanted to get like only in 80 pulls to getting her weapon. Only getting fucking 2 other weapons is kind of ass. And especially getting unlucky with them being dupes of each other is really ass.
I'll just add a dash of
That won't happen always, for sure. I think that was unlucky, but unlucky in a way that feels kind of shit, particularly being a new player when I want just more weapons in general, not fucking dupes, right? So, anyways, I am not going to level it up past 80 or past 60. That's fine. I haven't done enough wooling to do that. And sure, I'll level up your thing. I'm pretty sure it's not bad. Right. Applies electrification. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Okay, should I look it up quick just in case it's shitty? Gotcha. Weapon important in this game? There's no endgame combat, so anyone that confidently answers that, I think, is speaking out of their ass. There's no endgame combat, so the fuck's it actually matter? Probably not. But on a level of I'd rather not waste resources leveling weapons for like, for example, if there wasn't any polearm on the banner, but if there was a polearm on the banner, like Jet, I believe is AV Wena's best weapon, and that's a 6-star polearm. That is a standard polearm. And it's a question of, okay, it would be nice to get that and not have to waste a bunch of resources throwing it into this weapon, for example. I can technically throw away the resources put into this weapon, the XP, into a 6-star weapon, but I'd have to throw away the entire weapon for it, which I don't really want to do either, right? So it's just like the resource wasting things. Pride Wind says it's a useless honor? Really? Okay. So I was accurate in that this is a shit garbage weapon. Sick. I Actually, it's fucking Pridewind. Who the fuck do they know? I will actually double check before I bother dumping a bunch of fucking resources into it, though. Okay. She does do this, but it's just attack percent. This is probably better for her. Actually, is this meant to be her weapon? It does look good on her. It also gives agility. This might be meant. This actually might be her weapon. I'll give her this for now. It's probably better than this. This is kind of extremely meh. Can I throw those away? No, not yet. I don't have another copy of it, so. Okay. She prefers a supportive one. I mean, I don't disagree, but you tell me what the fuck ass supportive weapon do I have? Thank you. Thank you for telling me that. I'm well aware she's a support. I'm not that dumb. I'm sorry. Sorry for being a butthole. Just select Thermite for her. I mean, I probably should, yeah. But now, because of the freaking... now there's another fucking decision to make, right? Because one thing, I was waiting to see what happened with this weapon banner before I decided what to... Sorry, that's the battle pass. Before I decided what to take from this. I'm obviously not taking fucking White Knight Nova, and I mean, never was in the first place. But like, would have been cool to lose to Exemplar, for example. Then I don't have to be tempted to choose that for Panda Man. Detonation Unit was not one I could lose to. I believe this is just like a really good, generically good 6-star arts unit. So for this, I'll probably choose Jet here. Realistically, I already have Wedge. I think Detonation Unit is like, yeah, Wedge is good for Yvonne. If I get her, I have it, or Yvonne. So I'll probably choose Jet for AB Wena. And then this one is kind of weird. This one is the more, I don't know what to do. This is kind of no. This I think is also no. To be clear, I have Li Feng, and I think it's good on him, but I don't think I super need it on him. What do I have for him actually? Is Jet good on him? I don't remember what. I don't think Jet is very good on him. That's not good. That's also not very good on him. So, well, I think this is what I would use on him. Valiant is second best in slot. Okay, so that's a potential factor then, because right, like. Because I'm pretty sure... I don't think I've maxed out the battle pass. No, I still have 800 currency there. I feel like it wouldn't be hard for me at all. Keep in mind that this weapon banner is also available into Yvonne's banner. So I could definitely get 2 more. I already have 1 more pull, right? I could definitely get 2 more pulls in this banner. Perform 10 more issues to get it done. It takes more it takes more than 8. What? Okay. So they made it more expensive to get dupes of the thing. That's dumb. But anyways, like my thinking is I could choose like Thermite Cutter from this, and then that gives me the freedom to either choose Oblivion or Valiant from the other selector, right? Oh, thank you. I didn't see that. Caleb. We'll join in a second. Alright, well, anyways, I'll have to decide, that's my point. Is annoying ass fucking gotcha problems of like deciding where you want to spend your limited resources. And that is what it is. That's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna go do stuff with my friend since apparently he only has another hour. So, yeah. I think that may be gone after this banner. I'll go double check the details page. The one on Leviathans is gone. Like you had the 2 more issues to deliver thing, and this disappeared even though the banner was still here. Interesting. Okay, well, good to know. Well, then I have less time than expected, and that's a little annoying. Either way, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. End it with Gamba. I don't care. I'm not worried about it. I don't necessarily think I'm gonna like play Endfield long enough. Like it's quickly becoming a more casual game that I'll log into a couple times a week maybe. Right? And maybe I only play it for fucking another month too. Like, I'm not so in love with this game that I think I'm gonna play it daily long term to give a shit about min-maxing my resources. So honestly, fuck it. I'm gonna commit to trying to get this dupe copy. I think it's valuable enough for me early game, and stockpiling resources for an end game that I don't know if I give a shit about right now. Don't care. Didn't buy Oblivion from the weekly 6-star thingy. No, maybe I should have, but I mean, actually I can buy fucking Valiant now I think about it if I wanted to. Although maybe that's a reason to save the currency, I guess. But, fuck it. End with Gamba. It's probably not even going to be a 6-star, because I don't have luck. Yeah, I fucking told you. Alright, 10 out of 10. Another stanza of memories. Wow. Alright. Are there raid-ups? Because this is one of her good weapons. This is one of the Gilbert's good weapons. So they're fucking raid-ups and they're not telling us? If you have 5-star raid-ups, this fucker's better actually tell us. Maybe it says it in here somewhere. I don't know. Or is it just RNG? 12.5, 12.5. That just... Okay, I don't know if there's raid ups or not. Okay, of the 5 stars. Anyways. But yeah, maybe I should have bought Oblivion from that thing. Oh well. Hindsight is 2020. Oh my god, the number of things here. Yeah, we'll look at that later. Alright, whatever. See ya. Thanks for watching the stream. We'll go raid someone on Twitch quick, maybe.